Hey, what's up, ecosystem? Building better car shipping business relationships. What's working for you? This is Tuesday Nights Live on Auto Transport Intel. I'm Jay, your host. Welcome back to the show. And where's my video? Okay. Hey, welcome back again to Auto Transport Intel. I'm Jay, your host. I want to welcome you back. Listen, it's another Tuesday night. You know that I'm live every Tuesday night, 9 o'clock Central, 8 o'clock Eastern. And you know what? I appreciate if you're joining me tonight. I appreciate that you tuning in. I know December gets busy. There is so much going on. And so, listen, if it's your first time here, I just want to let you know that, first of all, I want to welcome you back to Tuesday Nights Live, and I invite you into the live chat. By the way, we have a question. How do you join the live chat? I was Googling this, and no one's really made a video of how to join a live chat, which surprised me. So if you've got a recommendation, I know somebody trying to join the live chat right now. I tried to find instructions that I could just send them through a link, and I couldn't find it. So if you've got that answer, number one, make a video and share it. And number two, please put it in the chat. I appreciate that. So somebody's going to make a video real quick on how to do that. Yeah. Okay, so anyway, I'm going to say hello to the live chat. We're definitely going to do that. And I already see the chat's coming in. Oh, cool. Got a first timer in here already. So that's awesome. So thank you for saying hello, joining the show. So I'm going to say hello to the live chat. And then about 10 minutes into the show, we're going to go into some industry news. It's memes that I pull off of Facebook. There's news. There's always some car hauling news. And I'm big on that. I mean, I want to find news that actually is relevant, worth sharing. Yeah, there's some drama out there and there's funny stuff too, but there's stuff to know. So we're going to talk about some of that stuff, and that's going to move us into our segments. Before we do that, we're going to talk about, I've got some merch and some coaching consultation news to share with you. I'll go into the first interview at 30 minutes into the show. That's at about 8:30. And we're going to talk to Bill with New World Auto. He and I haven't talked much, but he's got a lot of interesting insight. He works in brokering, which leads me into the panel tonight. We're going to do a car shipping panel. Actually, tonight contains 3 brokers, which is a first on this show. Bill's a broker, and then we're going to talk to Ty at CTS. He is my business partner in transport business coaching. And then we're going to talk to Melissa. She is also with High End Transport. She's a broker. And we're going to talk to William with Ship Your Car Now. He's a broker. So, I mean, whoever thought of having 3 brokers on a live show in car hauling? I talk about how I'm trying to push the boundaries of, I know that, it's easy to get caught up in your niche, and I want to talk to the ecosystem. That's shippers, carriers, dispatchers, brokers, lead generators, service providers, insurance agents, dealerships, auction buyers. Everybody has a piece of the puzzle, and there's so much information to share on auto transport. That's what Auto Transport Intel is here for. So, I'm here every Tuesday night, and, I'm looking over at this screen over here. I use this screen to check the live chat. I've got other pop-up windows, and then I'm over here in the camera. But we're talking about everything auto transport, hopefully explaining car shipping, okay? Dispatcher training, auto transport business coaching, car hauling, load boards, negotiating with brokers, talking to shippers, know your numbers, your cost per mile, and then, of course, car hauling industry news. And so I welcome you back to the show. So let's check in with the live chat. Let's see here. We've got... and it excites me to see you guys come back. I really appreciate it. I know there's so much to do. Kids have stuff going on. You've got other business stuff to wrap up. Taxes, whatever. And then there's the weather. Man, what's going on in the southeast? It's crazy. So if you're able to join me tonight, I really do appreciate it. All right, Patrick was in here first. So, hey, what's up, Patrick? You're part of the core, man. I appreciate seeing you in here. How are you doing? What's going on with you? Please share it in the chat. And also, guys, if this is your first time here, or you have a pending question, we want to know, what are your questions? What's on your mind? And, if you want to stand on a soapbox and get something off your chest, do that too. So you can do all of that here on Auto Transport Intel. Trucking Answers, Mark at Trucking Answers says, be seen and be safe. Well, thank you, Mark. Mark has a really great show where he's answering questions in the freight world. And Mark, you're killing it. I saw you went live yesterday. You had over 100 people. It didn't take that long to have over 100 viewers live. You got a lot going on. So props to Mark, man. Good job, Mark, on your channel and what's going on. And really, man, that's awesome, dude. And I'm glad that we're friends. And actually, Friday, I hope we're still on track for this. We're going to do a Trucking Business Freedom, episode 3 on Friday. We're going to go live at 1 o'clock Eastern. And Kenny Long is scheduled to be on that show. So I need to get with Kenny. I've been trying to, I think we all do this. In December, we're trying to kind of wrap up loose ends, get ready for the holidays, get ready. Already we're looking towards January of the next year. And so it's tough to keep up with everything. So hopefully we're on track with that. What's on the menu for tonight? Is it mashed potatoes and gravy or just mashed potatoes? Since we have brokers, we got gravy. Yeah, we're going to bring some gravy tonight. So that's pretty cool. Good question. Very good question. Hey, Jay, my first time able to catch you live. Been watching your videos for a minute, and they've been very helpful just starting a transport broker business. Awesome. I'm glad to hear that. It's interesting to think that videos I made a year and a half ago are what people are just first watching now. And that's a strange thing. So, I'm being contacted about things from a year ago, and I'm thinking about things today. And really, even just a year later, my view of the ecosystem has expanded, and it keeps expanding. So this is great, man. I'm glad the videos are helpful. And I'm glad you're here with us to kind of catch up on what's going on now. And listen, I know it's a long show, and I appreciate you sticking around. I realize it's a problem, because when I consume media, I got about 30 seconds, and I got to gulp my food down, and I got to do another phone call or something. And here I am making this show that lasts forever. So I don't know how to parse that, and I apologize for that. And somebody said, I got a YouTube comment the other day, your videos are too long. And so my question was, all right, well, how about this? How about if you can suggest to me which segments to create just a video of, I'll do it. I'll work on that, because I want to help. So that's why I even try and give the timeline. We should be doing industry news soon, which, it's already 8:10. But that's okay. This is fun, and I like connecting with the audience, with you guys, and that way it actually feels like we're here together, which I know we're not exactly, but we are. So, I don't know, man. Let's see here. William Nichols says, hey, let's roll. So, William's on the show tonight. William, thank you for tuning in and being a part of the show tonight. It's great. We're going to have a great panel. Anytime Towing, that is Matthew, and Anytime Towing with CTS. What's up? On 90 headed east, but we'll be listening. That's great, man. Thank you, Matt. And, Ty and I were talking about you today. We're thinking about you, man. With CTS, people that we talk to, people that we coach, we're thinking about you guys. We say we are, and we really are. It's cool. Ernest Martin, welcome back to the show. Ernest is part of the core. It's good to see you here again, Ernest. Thanks for tuning in. Rafat Shanak, he need to sign in. Okay, so what exactly are the steps to sign in and be a part of the live chat? I know it should seem obvious, but need to sign in. Do you have to create a YouTube account? And I should know this, but the problem is I'm already on the show, and I already have a YouTube account. Is that the problem? Do you have to create a YouTube account to be able to live chat? I think so. I use my handbrake a lot. I know that video of that lady in that parking lot, man, that's awesome. That's a great video. So if you haven't seen it, check out my Facebook page. Go to Auto Transport Intel on Facebook, and there's a video of a lady. Now she's in kind of the, I don't know, Muslim garb. I don't know how to say it. She has the hijab and kind of flowing robes, whatever, and she is driving a little car, and man, she's crushing it. She should be a trucker. Please forgive my YouTube name. My son uses my YouTube channel. I'm your pappy. Dude, clarification's the best, isn't it? I'm a huge fan of clarification. That's awesome, man. And that's fine. I get it, man. And also, it's cool how that's actually one of the cool things. Kids are so into YouTube. They watch YouTube more than TV. And that actually helped me realize, you know what? Let's just do it. We got to launch a YouTube channel. Hey, Jay, on my 30-minute break, heading to Houston. Gonna have to watch the replay this time. Have a good night, guys. Well, thanks for tuning in, Car Hauler 38. I mean, that's really cool. Appreciate you saying hello. And, keep us posted on what's going on. I saw I think he said earlier, I shared a Facebook post about, I think it was driver pay rates. And I think it was Car Hauler 38. Or somebody else talking about how Houston doesn't reflect the data. I have to have an account, but other than that, it was automatic on my end. Okay, yeah, I think it's pretty simple, but I think you do have to have an account. Hey, Jay, any word from JD? He comes and goes. So, I imagine this. You know what I imagine? I imagine that as I get closer to Christmas, we're going to probably get a kind of holiday greeting from JD. I'll just put that out there. JD, if you're out there in TV land, Christmas falls on a Tuesday, so I don't know what else could be going on, but I'm imagining JD would be welcome to join us. I definitely need to be a little more educated on the broker side, so I don't just judge, but it's hard not to. I know. That's actually one of the reasons why, as I began to learn more about brokers myself, I think it helped me expand the content, begin to invite brokers. I've done a lot of broker bashing in my time, and so I have to repent for that. But talking to brokers really helps understand what's going on in the transaction and the ecosystem. So, yeah, no, it's important. And I think it overall, when we understand other people and we understand their plight and their pain and their part in the ecosystem, it makes for a better ecosystem. It's important. And that's why I think as we understand more, then when we see knee-jerk reaction drama and name-calling, we're thinking, well, okay, well, we understand how that feels, and we're glad we don't feel that way anymore. But, there's still people that are going to make you mad. Of course. So Ty says, hey, Matt, that's right, man. Alyssa O'Leary, New World Auto Transfer from Katy, Texas, checking in. Cool. Yeah, that's cool. Now, Alyssa, wasn't there an Anthony at New World Auto Transport? What's funny is I called asking for Anthony. I was talking to Bill, and suddenly I was inviting Bill on the show. It's that easy. Listen, if you want to come on the show and talk and be on a panel or have an interview or make a video or whatever it is, just share a meme, do it. Autotransportintel@gmail.com. And listen, if you hit that like button, it won't bother me. Trucking Answers. You're welcome, man. No, it's great. Mark, it's great. I love what's happening. And I hope it becomes more understanding why freight and car haul are mixing. Because, that's the thing, too. The bigger companies like Uber, Amazon, they're going to mix it all. To them, it's cargo. That's it. It doesn't matter what shape or form. It could be a window or a Mercedes-Benz. It's just cargo. Like when you get an Amazon shipment to your house. It could be anything, man. It could be a camel or a couch. That makes no sense. Dave Archer, good evening from Jacksonville. Hey, what's up, Dave? Welcome to the show. Thanks for saying hello. It's great to have you here with us. How's the weather over there? Keep us posted. Hope everybody got out safe when Diego the storm came through North Carolina. Yeah, I hope so too. I saw there was a Facebook post by a driver. He was in Virginia, Southwest Virginia, and he was standing still. He was worried about the weather. Safety first, man. Safety first. No load is worth it. Connected through Bluetooth. I'll be listening. 10 call rolling out. Yes, sir. All right, man. Awesome. That's great. Hey, it's Thais. Yeah, sorry I missed the call. That's okay, Thais. We'll connect with you. Ty is managing the phones, and he is you should have his phone number, and if, I'll tell you what, by sending that message, listen, if you want to get a phone call from Ty, my business partner in CTS, yeah, if you live chat something, yeah, he'll take note. He'll call you. Alyssa, you have amazing content, and wow, that's so nice. And there's so much information to share and learn. Most of us look forward to Tuesday nights. Keep up the great work. Wow, that is so nice. Thank you so much. You don't know what that means to me. I really do want to share information, make great content. I work on it every day. And there is so much to know. That's why I started the channel. I started this channel because I was so frustrated with the way things were in dispatching and booking cars off load boards. I was going crazy, and so in sharing the information, I feel better. I feel like I'm doing something useful, and so it's great. That means so much to me. Thank you, Alyssa. Patrick, hey everybody, make sure you smash the like button. Jay needs the support. Let's keep this rolling, man. Support 1,000%. Let's get everybody's support. Thank you so much, Patrick. It really does mean a lot. That is no joke. And I really appreciate it. When it comes to when I put out the content and the show and work hard on the videos and stuff, sometimes I get crickets, but I just keep going. You just have to. We all have to. That's what we do. And that's why actually tonight we're talking about car shipping relationships. We got to do what we do well, and rain or shine, we just got to keep doing it. But we have to take note of what's working better, and then tweak, and then come back to the grindstone and just keep doing it. Rafat Shanak says yes. Whoop says hello, everybody. Rafat says create YouTube account, that's all. Okay, so you create a YouTube account. Now, that should be obvious, but maybe it's not obvious. Do you go to the youtube.com homepage and you create an account? I guess you try to sign in, right? And then it wants you to sign in with your, like a Gmail or some kind of an email. Yeah, I think that's it. Pain from knee surgery usually has me asleep around this time. Haven't caught a show in about a month. Okay. Well, man, that your health is number one, and you got to take care of yourself. And so whatever it takes, man, watch it on demand, or, take a month off. It's cool. I'll be here every Tuesday night, 9 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock Central. And then I appreciate you tuning in when you can. Evil Motorsports says, hello, everyone. Well, hello, Evil Motorsports. And you know what? Whether it's your screen name or your real name or your passport alias, whatever it is, whatever you go by, that's cool, man. I'll say hello to you in that form. All right, so let's do this. Let's go into industry news. All right, so we got industry news. And you know what? I think we're going to be good on time. It's 8:20. Because I don't have a ton of industry news. You must have a YouTube channel to comment. Okay, that is interesting. So that's the interesting part. I guess that's the part that doesn't seem obvious, is that you have to create a YouTube channel to comment. So sign in, create a YouTube channel, make videos, comment on the show. I know it seems strange that YouTube doesn't have a just chat button that you can just chat. That's next to that backhaul button that we don't have. Hey, when all else fails, there's always ELD Kool-Aid. You darn right there is. Ah, yeah. Woo! Feel so much better. To all my trucking friends, thanks for what you do. Stay safe this winter. Park it when you need to. You're the captain of your ship. Merry Christmas. That's right. Stay safe. Park your truck when you need to, and you are the captain of your ship. I like that. That's a great way to start the industry news. Now we're going to get a little crazy. Although if we don't drive, we don't survive. True enough. All the stuff that we have in the stores, you want to get into a funny argument with a person, start talking about how everything they have came on a truck. Right? I mean, think about that. Oh, you bought stuff on Amazon? Truck. Your furniture? Truck. Let's see what, your dishes, your clothing, jewelry, truck. Everything came by truck. That's right. Not by drone. It didn't magically appear. It came on a truck. And if truckers don't drive, man, you got an empty room. Okay, and you know what? You can celebrate Christmas on the road. That's how you do it. String them lights up and get a violation. That's a terrible joke. That's a Grinch Christmas car hauling terrible thing to say, Jay. I like that shot. There's no caption. There's nothing special here. It's just a frozen tie down. I think that came from John at Paladin Enterprises. Great shot. If you got shots to share, share them here. autotransportintel@gmail.com. By the way, I've been going through the YouTube comments, and I don't know if I'm getting some spam. You guys get spam? I hate spam, right? It just takes up time. I don't need that many offers to get, buy Facebook friends and stuff. I'm just not interested in that. I don't need that. I don't want it. I don't know why you would want it. Although if you're starting a modeling career and you need 1 million Facebook friends, okay, I guess then you're going to buy Facebook friends. I don't know. But so I've been changing the email addresses in the YouTube comments. So if you ever see autotransportintel@gmail.com all spelled out, that's what I'm doing now. I don't know if that's going to help. I was commenting with a pro YouTuber, and he was saying that not to put your email address in, and that's interesting. There it is. Well, it's different, but if you put your email address in the comments, you're more likely to get spam. I don't know, get a virus, end up on the dark web. And then you've got the other side of, how December can really feel, right? How are you going to load up your car? By the way, can we get a bump on the rate for all that snow? See, this is where, again, you get in your job mode, and suddenly you're at war with other parts of the ecosystem. Because how much does it need to pay to deal with all this, right? I mean, you got to work, but anyways, you know what I'm saying. And that's what really sucks is the rates tend to go down in the winter in the common areas, well, when the weather's good. I suppose that's, in the Northwest, and yeah, it's going to pay better. So anyways. ELD, you know what? Who does? I love Dukes of Hazzard, and so anytime I see Roscoe Biko, I think his name is, I want to make the noise. But anyways, there he is writing up his tickets, and that's a truckernation.org. This was shared by truckernation.org on Facebook. So, you gotta say, man, that was a great character when we were kids. They don't make TV like that anymore, do they? I don't know. What else we got? You don't need to post any videos. You do not need to post any videos. I don't. Okay. Good evening. All glad to be here. Coast to Coast Transporters is with us. Well, thank you, Coast to Coast. We're glad you're here, too. Glad to be on earlier tonight. Always entertaining. Charles at Acme Car Shipping. Cool. Glad to be on earlier tonight. Always entertaining. Charles at Acme. Charles, I think we should have you in for an interview sometime. You should email me, autotransportintel@gmail.com, and let's set up a time. Let's have you on a panel. That'd be cool. Ty driving up on a trailer covered in ice. Yeah, dude. Try it. Too broke Tim. Exactly. I mean, that is crazy. I can't imagine. There's so many. Hey, what's up, Dispatch Monkey? Welcome back to the show, Moozy. I can't imagine trying to load a car. Somebody somewhere right now is trying to load a car on that. That's crazy, man. That is crazy. If you quote it, The freight will come. Why is it then? I mean, it's a good meme. Why is it then so much freight doesn't have any price listed? It's interesting. So I guess it's a good meme. 99 pallets of freight on the dock. 99 pallets of freight. Take one out, break it all down. 112 pallets of freight on the dock. It's pretty funny. And then the picture to go with it really seals the deal, you know. It's pretty cool. When you're a pimp on the weekends, but a trucker during the week. It's nice. Can you see it says old school? Old school. That's it. I like the whiteness of the steering wheel, juxtaposed with the fabric. Oh man, look at that ceiling, dude. It's like 2001, 1970s meets 2001. That's awesome. 1970,001. I think that's just you, Jay. Oh, my phone is ringing. I topped off my washer fluid while logging off duty today. This outlaw trucking stuff is getting pretty serious. Dude, Kip, it's classic, dude. Man, it's a classic movie. Okay. I'm gonna try my Christopher. Marty, I'm back from 2020. And the M1 still has roadworks. Not bad. That wasn't the worst Christopher Lloyd ever. It's pretty funny, man. Pretty funny. You know, I bleeped out the word because I keep it clean. I do a clean show. You know, I got the YouTube monetization and how dispatch acts on the phone, and then what dispatch actually looks like. Okay, all right, fine. You know why I shared that? Fine. Because I've done that. I've been there. I've done that. Yeah. Okay, fine. All right, but actually now I just do the second picture all the time. Okay. Hey, if y'all join truckernation.org yet, together, now I can't do Jackie Gleason. Together, y'all can do what they say can't be done. Okay, now that's two, truckernation.org. Will there be a third? The question is, will there be a third? Great Scott, Marty! Man, Back to the Future is classic. I didn't realize there were so many movie frames in this industry news tonight. Love that stuff. Love it. I love memes. I can meme all day. Okay. I'm not sure how it happened, but it did. And that's gonna hold up the scale for a bit. Yeah. We got cleanup on aisle 2. That is that gonna work? I mean, I don't know. I wonder if that works. You know what's interesting? You can see the reflection of the mirror in the window. So maybe they got it the right. Wow. They've even got the ability to change the angle. So I'm guessing that's working. Now that's nice. They're putting that on the new Volvos? That's nice. Wow. Let's see what else we got here. Okay, this is not as nice. This is two different ways to handle all the there's been a lot of break-ins. Well, there's always some break-ins, but then it's when you get into the murders, that's when it gets bad. So, this is an idea for truck stops on how to stay safe while you're, trying to sleep. And as if there wasn't enough going on, now you got to worry about getting sleep. Man, sleeping at truck stops, it can't always be easy. Right? It can't be. You don't hear people talk about that. I don't think so. I mean, you just don't hear about that. It can't be easy. Especially when you're cold sweating it to move 5 bread trucks. So, Houston to Minnesota. Now, I realize this is a popular lane, but who's going to pick that up? $2,900 COD for 5 bread trucks. 5 trucks. Each are 9 foot tall. 27 foot long each? Oh my gosh. That's crazy. I blurred out the broker. I saw this on Facebook. I blurred out the broker name because, I mean, you might be able to figure it out. I blurred out the broker name and their phone number because I just, listen, I clearly don't agree with this post. And I don't even remember who it was, which is good. Although, Maybe you can figure it out by the reference ID. There's going to be some dispatcher that, yeah, I know that series of numbers. I know exactly who that is. Or I know that percent, or I know that, 2,333 ratings, though, so they've been around a while. Okay. In fact, I think this is my last frame here. Oh, good. It's 8:31. We're right on time. Ryan says, stop messing with the load board. It's slow and it sucks considering dumping it and going to another place. That is really funny. Yeah, man. Tell it like it is, Ryan. That's awesome. Customer support. In fact, that reminds me, like if you check in with customer support, let's say you got an issue and you tell customer support and they're like, you get a reply like, we've already answered that and closed. Like, wait a minute, what? But you didn't answer my question. I still have a problem. What do you mean closed? This ticket is not closed. This ticket is far from closed. Okay. All right. So that was that. All right. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna bring Bill into the show. I'm gonna send him a invite. And while Bill's joining the show, let's go ahead and let's do this. I need to, you know what I need to do? I'm going to put on my, oh wait, where'd I go? Where did you go, Jay? Okay, so I'm here. I'm going to put in my earbuds. This is something I'm doing now to cut down on the, I don't like wearing them, but I'm trying to cut down on...
What's going on, Jay? That's Jay, right? And we should mention that's Jay from Auto Transport Intel. Jay runs a live show on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. on YouTube. You should check it out. Jay does everything car hauling. That stuff I don't know anything about, but Jay knows everything about it. So if you want to haul cars, that seems like it'd be interesting. Hauling all these different kind of cars like Ferraris and probably a bunch of used cars from auto auctions. Whatever it is, whatever makes the money, go check out Jay at 8 p.m. tomorrow on YouTube. I'm there too, right? Watching the show. So it's pretty fascinating. 2-3 hours. He brings industry experts in and everything, right? So love it.
All right, cool. Thanks, Mark. Yeah, that's a video I put together. I was watching Mark's show, and he was nice enough to say some nice things about me and Auto Transport Intel. Made a video promo out of it, and I appreciate that, Mark. I really do. By the way, I noticed, I knew somebody would know. Well, William got it. So, there you go, William. I mean, it's amazing. William's all over it. William's going to be on the panel tonight, so that's pretty cool, too. Coast to Coast gives an LOL. And let's see. Why do you think the rates are so bad on Central? That's a great question, Moozy. Why are the rates so bad on Central? Clickety clack. I don't know why the rates are so bad. I mean, even though it's the leftovers, and even though maybe it doesn't need to move right away, I know those are probably a couple reasons. But it is lowball city. I think they should call it lowballcity.com, and that way at least you know what you're getting into. So, but it's maddening because there's not enough cars on your route, and then when one pops up, you've got to beg for more money. You got to see if you can get some more chicken nuggets or a toy with your Happy Meal or something, and then but it needs to be picked up today and delivered tomorrow and door to door and pretty please and sugar on top and then there's no key and oh yeah, it's missing a wheel and and then we got a family in the trunk. It's just nuts what goes into. I don't know. I really don't understand it. It makes me crazy. Dispatching absolutely makes me crazy, and I just don't get it. I don't know why. Here's the thing. It's part of it's the customer, because now everybody thinks everything is a Taco Bell drive-through and free overnight shipping, and you got Hulu and Netflix and Roku and Central Dispatch. Well, what makes Central Dispatch any different than Game of Thrones on demand? And hurry up and get this going, and everything is super cheap, and I can have it my way because that's what they tell me on the McDonald's commercials, and I can get my shoes and my free TV and and my double fries in my car overnight. It's crazy. So I feel like part of what I hope to accomplish at some point in my life is to explain to car shipping customers, this is a car. It's your car. Because I know if there's any kind of scratch anywhere at all, that there's going to be a claim and a fire drill and a chemical spill situation and, alarms going off. But when it comes time to Google find car shipping, it's the cheapest deal I can get, and I want to get the best cheapest deal I can get, and I don't get it, man. I don't get it, and I don't know why it's so bad. Okay, so here we go. I got Bill in here. Hey Bill, you there, buddy? Let's see here.
Yeah.
Oh, you're
Yay.
okay. All right. Hey, let me put you on the screen. All right, I got these things here. All right, hang on one second. Okay. All right. Okay, cool. Now let me do this. Okay, so here, let me do this. Okay, wait a minute. I gotta do this. It's not like this is more like public access. It's not your high-end, Fox News, CNN studio yet. We'll get there. All right, so let's see. Let me get. Okay, I need this camera. I need to start the video. There we go.
Yeah.
All right, so we're here. All right, so you're here and I'm here, and I want to welcome you to the show. Welcome to Auto Transport Intel. This, ladies and gentlemen, this is Bill Cox, New World Auto Transport, and I'm Jay at Auto Transport Intel. We even have titles and graphics. I don't know if you're able to. I think I should have mentioned this, Bill, that if you tune into the show while we're live, you can also comment in the live chat. But you don't have to. I mean, I comment for you and I'll read the live chat. So, dude, welcome to the show.
Just make sure it's witty and it makes me sound really awesome. That's so. Go ahead. Any comment that's awesome, you can just say it's from me.
Okay, there we go. So, and by the way, the audio's coming through clear. Hey, out there, if you guys are listening and watching, please let me know if the audio's okay, the audio and the video. So, and also, Bill, I'll say this: if we talk over each other, the stream kind of hiccups. So, and I'm bad about that. I talk over people all the time because I get so excited.
Well, you're the host, so you're the one that has to keep the show going, and so I don't have a problem with that, Jay.
See, and what's cool, I'm going to say this, is that it's obvious from some of the projects you shared with me, you're a media guy, right? You have a podcast, maybe two?
Absolutely. I do a podcast on Wednesday nights called Man Up Spiritual Oasis for Men. We're not pastors, we're just regular guys. And what we do is it's no church answers, and it's a men's only discussion. And the guys bring it. And see, we have various personalities on there. I'm the kind of like the mortar in between the bricks, because we have one guy who's a judge, another guy who's a professional gambler, and then you have everybody just kind of slug it out. And what's amazing is it's Spiritual Oasis for men, but we have a heck of a lot of women that listen to it, and they're the ones that do the comments. And the biggest comment is they don't expect it to be funny, and it just is. When people bring it and they're passionate about it, sometimes the funny just comes, and it's awesome. So yeah, that's the podcast that I do.
That's all. And so every Wednesday night, is that right?
Every Wednesday night, we've been doing it. It's on iTunes, it's on SoundCloud, and yeah, it's just that's kind of the thing. And just what is really cool about your podcast, it's on a regular basis, and sometimes people want to check in, and other times life is rolling along and you don't need it. But every once in a while, you need that tune-up spanking or that tune-up little nugget that you can get, and you get it with these podcasts.
Yeah, no, I totally. So I want to say, so Man Up Spiritual Oasis, is that right?
And that'll take you right there.
Okay, and
absolutely.
I agree. That is the thing about it's the weekly show. You know, I've done, and I bet this is true for you too. I've done many different shows. I mean, going way back, and always I've believed in kind of that weekly, or whether some were monthly because they took so much time to edit. But yeah, that consistent rolling machine, and it's just like you said. You may not connect to every show, but you know it's there, and sometimes it's there when you need it.
Absolutely. And see, like, this is to your vocation. I mean, I transport cars because, I make money. I mean, and that's what I do. And I spend it on making films and doing podcasts and stuff like that. But I like transporting cars, but it's what I have to do to fund the rest of my life. And there's every once in a while, like, I'll go through tough weeks and stuff. And like a podcast like this will just give me a little motivation. And what I really like about podcasts is that it's unvarnished. You don't have to, of course, it's bare budget. And I don't have a problem with that because it's authentic and it's real. Give me that over anything that's overproduced that is kissing up to sponsors and stuff. I want real, I want authentic, and that's a community that I like being a part of.
And I totally agree. And I'll say this too, is that I made a recent video and I've talked about advertising and whatnot. And what I'm trying to do is I want sponsors and advertising that are still within target of what we're doing, talking about. You're not going to see Dove soap here, I hope.
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
But
I don't know, man. They could make mobile soap.
Well, that's.
And I'll tell you what, if it's got wheels on it, I'll move it.
That's what I'm saying. If you can get, that's what like that Oscar Mayer hot dog truck, right?
Right.
Let's do it, man. Let's do it. Let's do Oscar Mayer auto transport. I don't know.
And it's got to go on a low boy though.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah.
Exactly.
The thing that I really like about logistics is that it really is like the Wild West. And
oh man.
You have to. It's almost like you got to be a double salesman. You got to sell the customer first, and if you're a broker, you got to know the market, and then you got to sell the dispatch and the driver. I'm doing it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you're selling the deal twice, and you got to be good, and you got to like it in order to be able to be good at that.
It's interesting you'd say that, and that's it's great. I appreciate you saying that because tonight's show is. I'm gonna pull up the graphic here. We are talking about building car shipping relationships. And within that, I mean, I agree with you. You kind of have to have a knack for building relationships, and you got to want to do it. Right? I mean, there has to be, it's just like as a car hauler, you have to have some natural ability to be a good car hauler.
Right.
Right. I mean, you just do. And we talk about this in CTS in our business coaching. We ask questions. Did you grow up on a farm? That's not always. There's not a lot of yeses there. But how about welding?
I did.
You did. Okay. Well, or do you like talking to people? That's got to be one thing. If you're a broker or dispatcher, you can't be afraid of the phone. You got to like talking to people.
Right.
And you're going to have a penchant for punishment.
Well, not only that, but a short memory is really good because that last no, I mean, as soon as that I set the phone down, it's like flushing out of my memory. I don't even think about it. But another thing that has really helped me, I just love cars. I was raised on a farm in Michigan. I just love machinery, cars, vehicles. And when people talk about these cars that, like, we're shipping stuff to these Mecum auto shows, I just shipped a 54 Cadillac convertible restored.
Nice.
It sold for over $200K.
Wow.
And I talked with a guy about it, and he said, believe it or not, he had over 100 in it in restoration.
Wow.
It was that pristine. He said he searched for all the emblems and everything, and it was rich with a story. It was just awesome, and I can't wait till he buys another one because I guarantee I'll be shipping that one too. But you, if it's one of those things, you're either good at and you like and you care, or it's just not in your wheelhouse.
But you're right. You're right about loving the car, and that because that theme comes up on a regular basis, and I know that some of the gratifying work that a car hauler on the road, a driver, gets to experience is the amazing machines, right? The amazing machines and showrooms and collectors that they meet, and then the traveling and the geography itself are I think, two of the most rewarding parts of the actual job itself. Is that some of these cars are amazing.
And the third thing, and I know you've run into it, is where you made a difference in somebody's life. Like grandma gave a old Honda to a college student that's been walking, or a single parent. Her car broke down and her brother is shipping his old car cross country, and you get it not only on time but at a great deal, and those people are crying. I mean, making a difference in people's lives, man, it's just beautiful.
It's so true. It's interesting how we have to focus on business. We have to focus on our business. But in those moments, like you're talking about, every single driver I've worked with, I've been on the phone to hear part of the story, like you just said, where making an impact actually meant a lot in that moment.
And that's the thing about it. That's what keeps people going in those times when you think you have a deal and you got everything lined up, and then all of a sudden the vehicle isn't ready and the driver can't wait, and your whole deal just kind of falls apart, and you're thinking about, this is a big drag and I really don't need this kind of headache. But then when those other moments come through, it's like it almost makes up for it. And I mean, in a weird sense, that to me sometimes that's just enough to keep me going to get the next ones. You know
what? And we all have those moments where, luckily, hopefully, some life magic happens. Maybe we feel like we've gotten a sign. Maybe there's a picture on a hubcap, and that's what you needed. Some kind of human connection to the deal.
Right. Totally enjoy it. And the thing about it is, people don't know what goes into being a broker. And so the first thing they'll do is they when they call in and they ask you, are you a broker? Absolutely. And they want to hang up and say, hold on a second. Let me tell you why I'm a broker and why you want to work with one. You can't afford to have me send one of my vehicles all the way up, and you won't wait either. And these drivers out on the road, they need a salesman like me. So there's a mutual need, you need someone that knows what they're talking about. So, I mean, let's work this deal out together.
Well, and we need to understand each other, right? Because
absolutely.
My guess, Bill, is that you don't even, it's an afterthought now. You've been doing this so long, you understand the car hauler. You understand.
Absolutely.
You understand.
And then the thing about it is, like I tell them, you're not calling a cab. It ain't Uber.
Right.
We're putting together a puzzle, and we're trying to help you out. Do you want my help, or do you want somebody else's help? The issue with a car hauler is this: if we all are on using central dispatch, if you're working with 2 people, you're working with no people. Do you want me, or do you want someone else?
And,
Plain and simple.
and that's another thing, that by doing this show, I think I've seen some people, their eyes open like mine did when I realized what the customer's going through with their phone ringing off the hook. It's not just the
Right.
car hauler feeling the pain in the rates, and it's not just the brokers knowing that there's other brokers or maybe a difficult car hauler in a situation, but the customers, what the customers are going through with what the lead generators are doing with the leads. I mean, the whole thing is a bunch of moving parts.
Absolutely. And it's totally evolving as we go. And think about it this way. Say a guy bought a car 6 years ago, okay? He bought it and then he had it moved from wherever. He wants to do the same thing today. Look at the difference in the industry
Oh
of
man.
moving it 6 years ago and then moving today. It's not even the same business.
And you have to explain to that customer, like you just said. You might listen, this is totally different from 6 years ago. Do not give me the number that I gave you 6 years ago.
No question about it.
Yeah, don't do it. Because, well,
Eh,
but I paid this. Okay, well, that's great. Congratulations.
That's right.
But
That's right, my
it's
man.
not 1985, Marty.
That's right. We're not going to party like it's 1999.
We're not. We're not even going to
Yeah,
party like it's 2017.
right. It is. But I actually came from, um, worked for United Van Lines. And
Yeah.
so I was shipping uh, home goods, and I mean, and going out and dealing with a client on site and all that kind of stuff. And I tell you what, that was working with absolute thieves, and it was crazy. And here's the thing: when you're moving home goods, the customer thinks they'll never see you again, and probably
Mm,
not, you know. And so they will find ways to take full advantage of
mm.
you. And
Well,
then because in the moving business, because of liability, almost everybody's gone to contracting. Everybody. And so, and even the trucking companies, they don't really want to have their own sales staff, because why should they? They can just get all the contractors or the brokers to call them. Okay. And the thing about it was there was no um, accountability
right.
in there. Everybody was, the customer was stealing us blind, the contractor was stealing the customer blind. And if you could deal with that, you could make money in the moving business, in home goods, if you could deal with that. Some people had a huge ethical problem, and me, i just I just understood people were gonna, you were gonna give them an inch, they were gonna take a mile, so when you're bidding it, you bid a mile and a half.
You have to.
That's right, that's the only way that you can get the deal. But being a auto broker is different. You have to know the market, you have to know movement, you have to know market, and you have to know weather in order to get the right price for the deal.
How
And even then, you might not get the deal.
how do you? Yeah, and that begs the question: how do you go about training a broker? That sounds hard.
I have no idea. I don't do it. I'm a commission salesman,
Right.
and you need to have my boss, Steve Wells, on.
I'd like
He
to.
is, dude. He is so awesome. He is a hammer. He's a closing machine. He's so different from me, man. He goes. I don't give out quotes. I give out orders. Well,
That's
I mean,
great.
everybody has their own method.
Tell
I
him.
prefer I prefer to educate a client, and I think people need to have their hand held They need to be educated about this and then give them the chance to make an informed decision, because I know there's people out there that are just out there to just rip people off. And that's way in any business.
Yeah.
But me, I like being able to shop in the daytime. You know,
To be seen.
I don't want to have to hide my face.
Couple things. Please tell. There's William's phone. Please tell Steve, for me, that I want him on the show. And okay. I want him on the show whenever. It could be 2020. Whatever it is, we'll get the connection going. But please do that. Let Steve know that he's invited on the show whenever he's ready. Okay.
Well, I just want to let you know that by having me on here, you've already gone up a level or two, because I've told him about you.
Awesome.
And he's friends with Richard of Gas Monkey, and
awesome.
He's also friends with Jesse James.
Awesome.
He's an ex motorcycle racer. Unlike me, I'm a filmmaker. So
right.
I mean, everybody's got to have their own hobby.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Well, and I like what you said about mixing. This, my show is part of my vocation. This is the most clear intersection of my hobby and my vocation that I think I've ever had as far as content goes.
Right. Yeah, good deal. Yeah, well, here's the thing. You do that, it shows that you're an authority on what you do, because you're willing to put yourself out there, and people will say, I saw you said this on that show, but you won't actually do that.
Oh, man. No doubt. Oh, my gosh. I take a chance every week. Every time I go live, I'm live for, at least 2 hours. I mean, what am I thinking? I got to have my head examined to do this.
Yeah, well, I'm clear as long as far as the boss goes. I'm just going to make sure my wife doesn't look at this. So.
Right. Well, man, I mean, I'm trying to be as transparent as possible. So, and when it comes to, you said something, we're talking about the automotive industry and, people taking advantage of other people. You know what I want to say is that makes me think of like terminals. I think terminals, I understand the purpose of terminals, and my guess is you probably use some terminals. And there are times where you've got to use a terminal, but I see that as like a breeding ground for potential of yet another possible mistake to get passed off on somebody else. Terminals are tricky.
Oh, no question about it. It's when you're trying to get away with a discount.
Right.
Plain and simple. I mean, and
discount.
It could be a discount a couple of different ways. It could be a discount on the customer wanted a cheap price, so you're shipping from one landing point to another landing point and getting piggyback from there. Or it could be you're doing an agency is transferring from one to another and that kind of thing.
Right.
And it's always because of money. But it's different. It could be the price that the customer is willing to pay, or the price that the agent is willing to pay for the services for the customer. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, the customer might think that they got A+ service, but the reality is they got a C service, and the agency is just going to make a little extra money and just do it the discounted way. You know what I'm saying? But really, I mean, they're useful, and they're necessary, but yeah, it is potential that you have problems. No question about it.
And I want to say this: there's invariably, now that we've talked about terminals, somebody is quietly sitting there thinking, "What's a terminal?" Okay, right? So let's define this term of art. Okay, a terminal is, and I'm going to say it the way I believe it's defined. A terminal is a location where a carrier delivers a vehicle to that location, unloads it, it stays there for any period of time, and then gets reloaded by a different carrier, and then taken on to the ultimate destination, or maybe another terminal. So these terminals are oftentimes tow yards or holding facilities, usually tow yards, which isn't always the most conducive to keeping the vehicle clean or safe or unloaded in the way the customer would hope.
Well, and absolutely true. But the thing about it is, typically, if it's an auto, I'm sorry, I was kind of reverted back to my household good days as
Awesome.
far as terminal goes. But in the
marshaling,
when in the auto transport, usually there's a reason why that it has a terminal. Say like you're going from the continental U.S. to Alaska or something, or you're going across a border or something, and then typically, maybe you need a freight forwarder or somebody else that has the licenses that can get you across or get off. So you don't necessarily have a problem unless it is like dirt, but you don't really have the theft problem or anything. But the newest thing that's been happening to me is the enclosed carriers that are going through the drug states now. I've had a couple of loads stopped.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
That they were running outside of. They ran through Colorado, and they got stopped, and they went through. And this one guy had a locked high value bag in his trunk. And I always tell people, hey, no, you're not supposed to put anything in there. But if you do put something in there, make sure it's loose and can be readily inspected, because who knows what's going to happen on the road. Sure enough, they busted in his, and they weren't gentle about it either. And he sent pictures. They ruined his bag, and they just cut it right open. They didn't even bother to use bolt cutters because he had a lock on it. But man, they rifled through it, and they sent the driver on the way. But man, that's the thing. That's the new thing. There's always something going on, and a broker is going to know that and is going to be able to tell that kind of stuff to a potential client, and all that stuff helps them.
And I saw in the comments, so marshaling yards, terminals. What I was going to say is that oftentimes it's a logistical reason, but I think what happens, what I've seen, and I understand the need to create VIP level service. Okay, and by the way, if you see the audio of my sometimes the computer has to catch up to what's happening with the audio. So if the audio gets off the video for a second, don't mind that. Just close your eyes. But in the VIP world where you've got somebody who just, this is Rodeo Drive, and I eat, sleep, and drink Gucci, and then you got to do the door to door, and you got to send a flatbed. I think some of that's a little silly sometimes. Because if you send a flatbed all over the place, man, if 5 different flatbeds touch your car, aside from the transporter or 2, man, that is a lot of people touching one car. I wouldn't want to be the broker on that deal, because the potential for damage claim is pretty high, isn't it?
Well, yeah. I mean, well, you're absolutely correct. But, and I can tell you this though, if it's a VIP or if it's a high dollar, anything that I handle like that, it's typically just it's a pickup and a drop off. I mean, there's not much of a transfer on that. The stuff that I'll transfer, like I said, if I can't get it moved, like I don't go to Alaska, but we have I'm out of Houston. And I have a fair amount of oil and gas. And so, I mean, all these crew cab, 4-wheel drives, and that kind of stuff. So I get them up to Washington, but you're on your own to get it to Alaska. I just don't do that, And there's a terminal there, and, for, like $2,600, they can get it up to Alaska, But,
nice.
but I don't do it, and I don't have an agreement with those companies. And so they'll kind of sit there. But, it's a necessary, it's a need thing, and I get it that a client might be upset if it's like 3 or 4, but pretty much in my world, there's either a reason, as if it's going to a place that I don't service, or it might be really cheap and it's an out of the way place, but it'll still only get transferred once. But I think Grandma's Honda can handle it.
Well, that's the thing, is that what you said. Yeah, if it's going to Alaska, yeah, I totally get that. What bothers me is the proliferation of an unreasonable concept. That if it's a 1998 Honda, and the paint job's whatever, don't do door to door with a flatbed and make everybody feel like this is, a Maserati. Just don't do it. Don't feed into that.
Why?
Right? But I know if you can get the money, great.
Yeah.
But then share the money. Okay, that's the other part.
Okay,
right?
I don't have a problem.
If
with that.
you can get $5,000 on a used Honda with door to door, and everybody's a VIP, and cruise ships and ski trips, and Springsteen's gonna be there as you load the car, share the money.
I will have that thing hand waxed.
Yes.
And I will have
Bruce Springsteen will wax it.
Dude, if I get $5,000 to move that thing, I'll have spinners on that car when it's unloaded. Grandma's gonna be going nuts.
Right, but then my beef is, then it's posted on Central Dispatch for like 300.
Right.
Like, come on.
Oops.
Yeah,
Right,
oops.
right.
Oh yeah, well, it's door to door, no keys. So anyways.
That's right. I meant to bump it to 325.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, exactly. Can I get another $5? And that's when, right, I've been on the phone with that deal, and I'm begging for $5-10 at a time. I have made brokers give me that extra 50 cents on the contract just out of principle.
Dude, I'm telling you what, Blanche is gonna love it when you send it and it's waxed up and everything. But I don't have an extra nickel to give you. I'm sorry, Hey, and that's it's a 1-lane road down to her.
Oh,
it's a mile long.
Let me tell you. Oh my gosh. When the car hauler, I've booked a car, and the car hauler calls me, and he's like, I have gone down a 1-lane. Like you said, it's dark. I'm at the end of a 1-lane road. I can't turn around. I talked to a car hauler once. I think he had to back up a mile in the dark on a dirt road.
Oh, dude. Yeah, and he ate glass.
Dude.
And he didn't have any water.
It's like I hit every tree.
It was running on 4 cylinders.
Oh man!
And my Cheetos were stale, dude. I get that.
My Cheetos were stale. Oh my gosh, that is terrible. You can't say that. It's not that kind of show.
Dude, man, I tell him, I say, come on now. Everybody lives close to a Kroger. Come on, let's meet them there. Load the car, you get paid, you run in, you get a soda at Kroger, and you're on the road, dude. I mean, there's no reason to take it to their house. Everybody lives close to a Kroger.
Now, there's another one. I have had brokers, like, again, I'm talking as a dispatcher. We do fall into our roles, okay? I'm falling into my role. But I've been ragged out because we talked to the customer about meeting at a Home Depot. The customer was fine. But the broker they jumped out the window when they heard that. Oh, you had my customer meet at a Home Depot? What do you mean?
Oh, dude.
Yeah, dude.
My biggest question is, what's the credit card number?
What's the credit card number?
That's it. Yeah. Any other questions? The expiration date. Yeah. Otherwise, I'm good, man.
Matt at any time says the biggest reason he seems to grab one for the transporter at a terminal is because time was promised. Boy, it's those time promises that's another thing. That's part of while we're talking and educating, I'm hoping to reach that one customer that thinks this is a Taco Bell drive-through and that they want to have it their way. They bought into all the advertising and they're thinking that, they can schedule their car in a rope How about that when the customer says, well, it's only 8 hours to El Paso? Yeah, according to who?
Right.
Right.
And here's the thing. You hit the nail on the head right there. It's the very first thing is this. You got to tell the customer, this is not Uber and you're not calling a cab. That's not the way it is. And if you think it is that way, that means you have to pay for your vehicle to be the only vehicle
Right.
that's on this whole trip. And then you have to pay for the guy to either wait or drive empty to get the next one. I can make that happen for you, but you're not going to like that price. That's the difference.
And I can hear, that's the thing, is that's where it's in these moments that your ability to communicate is going to make the difference.
Right. And honestly, in those moments, Jay, I'm not working for New World Auto Transport. I'm working for the industry.
Exactly.
That's a common practice, and that's common insight people need to have into this industry. Before you can even walk into the house, you have to look at the house and know what you're walking into. And that is what I feel I do.
It's great, man. That is great, man. I'll tell you, I knew we were going to have a great conversation. You know, we barely talked before. I don't know. I think we've talked we still have talked for maybe 15 minutes or so.
Right.
But I cut you off. I said, hey, man, this is just a test. You're a shoe-in. This is going to be great. This is really, I've loved having you on the show. And
you're not really as rude. You're not as rude as all the reviews and stuff that I've read. You know, I mean,
all the horror stories. Yeah.
Right. You're twice as good. You're at least a 2.
It's way better than 1.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, a scale of 10. No, I was thinking a scale of 30.
That's right. But still, it's progress.
Right.
Yeah.
Jay, awesome. Thanks for having me on. And
thanks for coming on.
Definitely. I mean, and we're all in on this, and this is what we like to do, and this is how we make money and stuff. And I really like the fact that you've taken this, and it's not easy doing a podcast. I know, and making it interesting and fun, and yet having a purpose. And that's the main thing. An unvarnished voice, with a purpose. I think it's just awesome. Thanks for having me, and I'm definitely going to tell my boss, Steve Wells, man. I mean, you're going to love him, and he's going to love you too.
And question for you: if people have questions for you, can they ask you? Can you be contacted?
Absolutely, and you can Bill at newworldautotransport.com, or I have a Facebook page, but it's more focused on my other creative.
But I'm gonna type Bill at New World Auto Transport.com. Bill at newworldautotransport.com. All right, cool. So if you have a question for Bill, or you just want to thank him for coming on the show, whatever it is,
or you just want to say that I'm better than Jay.
Yeah, dude.
And you're related to me.
Yeah, exactly. Just do it. Right. Yeah, go for it, man. I say do it. Right. Start a meme. Start a meme war. Jay versus Bill.
Dude, Merry Christmas, Jay. Thanks for having me.
Merry Christmas, awesome. Man. Yeah, thanks so much for coming on. It was great.
All right, very cool. Yeah, make sure you send me a link, and I'll get the put it on the website, and all the best to you, my man.
Thank you, man. Stay in touch.
All right, later, Jay.
All right, take care. Okay, so that was awesome. That was really awesome. What I'm going to do now, I know the screen's a little weird here. I'm on my other camera because I'm going to start up the other interview. Before I do, let's watch a video. We're going to watch this video. Oh, by the way, this is Paul. This is Paul's trailer from Max Premier Transport, and I believe he's in Colorado on this thing. So here we go. Let's check out a video while I invite my other friends.
Absolutely. With this particular plan, it's a specialty plan that actually protects you as you are in commission of a CDL truck. So when you're behind the wheel of a rig, outside of your personal vehicle, anything that's considered a CDL vehicle, you get access to a plan that protects you in that world. So just for example, this is a commercial driver's legal plan that we particularly offer. We offer specifically to commercial drivers, whether or not you're an owner-operator or you actually drive for a company, you can have access to this. So what it's going to actually give you is tragic accident representation. So that means if you kill somebody in a vehicle, it don't have to be your fault. Somebody slams on brakes in front of you. Now you're in a situation where you had a multi-thousand-pound vehicle that killed someone, and now how much is that going to cost you to get representation for that? Well, Legal Shield's going to be able to represent you as long as you weren't drinking or driving or anything like that. Win, lose, or draw, you'll be covered throughout the trial for that situation. We're going to give you coverage on all your motor vehicle moving traffic violation, whether it could be a logbook violation, overweight, it could be anything dealing with speeding, missing a scale, any of those things that may happen. And you know those tickets are quite expensive for a truck driver versus us regular people who drive a regular car. And sometimes they can sit that truck there until you pay that fine before you can move it. So this is going to give you access to be able to have attorneys represent you in court so that you don't physically have to be there. You can still be moving loads, making money, while the attorneys are handling those pieces of your business that may pop up. And this is a national program as well, by the way. So that means if you're driving anywhere in the United States or Canada, this plan covers you. Also, we're going to help you with IRS audit situation. A lot of you guys are owner-operators. Now you got to do taxes. It's 1099 income. How do you report that stuff? How do you know what you can write off? If you get audited, who do you call? Well, it's usually in a tax attorney's thousands of dollars an hour just to get help with that. But with this program, 50 hours already taken care of if you're audited, for them to go to the audit with you and all those types of things as well. The last thing I want to tell you real briefly, this plan is going to actually give you access to get your will done. Folks in this country, 90% of minorities and 70% of all Americans, we all going to die. But those percentages do not have a last will and testament to leave and dictate where their assets go upon death. Folks, we can say everybody, let somebody else figure it out, but the state is hoping that you don't have one. Why? Because they get a percentage when they have to get their attorneys involved to be able to figure out what to do with the rest of your assets. But also, folks, who raises your kids? What happens to the schools they go to? What about the morals and things that you're putting into them? Who's going to raise them? The will allows you to be able to get that done, so there's no additional cost included in your membership. Folks, this membership is $32.95 a month. I guarantee you can take full advantage of it today. Get in contact with me at 302-270-4507. Even the fish want to get the plan.
They're jumping out there.
All right. Hey, that was pretty cool. Do me a favor. Somebody's got some audio to turn down. I'm hearing my show. But listen, guys, we are now on the screen, and I wanna welcome you guys to the show. Let's get Bill's off there, and we're gonna move forward with. There's Melissa. Oh, and we got Ty. Hey, there we go. Hey, we got everybody tuning in. Cool. So we just, I want to say this is we just heard we just watched a video that was Ted Wright of Legal Shield. I've had Ted and Shannon on this show in the past, and I'm going to be running more video promos of folks that are on this show, and that's one of the benefits of coming on the show is then we might be able to make a video so we can promote your product or service in the future. And also, before I move on, I want to thank, let me do this here. Oh, no, I'm going to go back to that. I want to thank Alyssa O'Leary for contributing a super chat to the show. Every donation I get to the show goes back into the show, and I want to thank you, Alyssa, for doing that. I really enjoyed having Bill on the show, and now we're going to move forward with a panel discussion. Let me say this: anybody that has my audio playing, we're hearing somebody's audio playback of the show.
Every donation I get to the show goes back into the show, and I'm really
turned it off.
doing that. I really enjoyed having Bill on.
Okay. So there we go. So we got clear audio. Listen, I want to introduce you guys. I got Ty Thompson of CTS. He's my business partner at CTS Transport Business Coaching. Thanks so much for joining us tonight, Ty. I got Melissa at High End Transport. Melissa is a broker. She's, I believe, one of the owners of High End Transport. We've talked several times. Melissa's been on the show. And then I've got William of Ship Your Car Now on the show. You guys, this is the first time I've had a panel on the show of two brokers. Not one, but two brokers. This is the most brokers I've ever had on the show at one time. So I'm really happy to have you guys here. And thanks for, on short notice, joining me on the show. And we're going to talk about, what are we talking about tonight? We're talking about, I'm going to bring up the graphic here.
You guys, this is the first time I've had a panel on the show.
There's my audio again.
Not one, but two brokers. This is the most brokers I've ever had on the show at one time. So I'm really happy to have you guys here. And thanks for, on short notice, joining me on the show. And we're going to talk about, what are we talking about tonight? We're talking about, I'm going to bring up the graphic here. You guys, this is the first time I've had a panel on the show. There's my audio again. Not one, but two brokers. This is the most brokers I've ever had on the show at one time. So I'm really happy to have you guys here. And thanks for, on short notice, joining me on the show. And we're going to talk about,
What is happening?
we're talking about tonight. We're talking about, I'm going to bring up the graphic here. This is the first time I've had a panel on the show.
So we're in a feedback loop.
It's really scary too.
So try this. What I did is that's why I wear the earbuds now, because by putting my earbuds in the jack, I remove the loop of the speaker. So if anybody has earbuds to put in the jack,
We're in a feedback.
try that.
Yeah, maybe.
Otherwise, I think we're going to keep looping, and it'll be like a.
Actually, that's why I wear the earbuds.
We might end up Back to the Future.
By putting my earbuds in the jack, I remove the
Marty, Marty. It is. It's the Twilight Zone.
Try that.
Marty.
And it'll be like a. Actually, that's why.
Oh, wow.
I end up Back to the Future.
Then the next thing would be to lower the volume. That might work.
It is the Twilight Zone.
So what I did was, I lowered the audio. Right now, I'm the only audio. I lowered the desktop audio because of the looping. So I think right now you guys can only hear me talk. And we will get there. We will figure it out. Actually, that's part of this show is it's part experimental. Here, I'll do this until I get the looping 100%. So the part of this show, this is what's interesting about doing content. Yeah, this is funny. And I've done a lot of different shows. Here, let me do this. I don't want to play with the earbuds while I talk because that could make noise. But I've made a lot of different shows throughout the years, and there's an element of experimental that's always possible. A light could fall. I know there was a Hillary Clinton interview where a light fell, which was probably terrifying to the crew. The dolly track can come off the track. It's not likely. Or, you can have a wardrobe malfunction, or then you have acts of God. Maybe there's been movies where they were filming, and the film broke inside the mag. Could have been a loading problem, or microphones stop working, batteries die, cables come unplugged. So these things happen. And then if you add just to the production things that can go wrong, then when you do it live, you'll notice that even on when the ball drops, when you guys go to New Year's Eve this year and the ball drops, I don't know, do they still do that? But I think they do. When you watch Dick Clark's New Year's Eve live, there's still an element, you can tell it's live because there's an element of, gosh, what's going to happen? Everything's not timed. Where's the wardrobe or the wedding cake? Okay, I'm pausing. Okay. I'm just talking. I'm a talk machine. Okay, hang on. All right, let's see here. And cut. See, we're live. I got to get my earbuds. We got to get the earbud wrangler. Hey, where's the earbud wrangler? Okay, here, let me raise this. Check, check, mic, check. Are we back? Woo! Okay, so let's do this. Let's go back to here. Let's go back to... And good job getting my attention, Ty. That wasn't easy. Man, you had to work for that one. But here we go. We're back. Okay? All right. So we did the introduction. I'll do it again real quick. I think we only lost a couple viewers, so that's pretty impressive. We have Ty from CTS. We have Melissa from High End Transport. And we have William from Ship Your Car Now. Guys, thanks so much for joining me tonight. I really, really appreciate it.
It's a pleasure.
No problem.
All right, and I'll say this too, is that, like I said to Bill, we'll try not to talk over each other. It is easy to do, especially when we get passionate. Hopefully we have so much passion that we can't help but want to dive in and be the next comment. So, all right, so it's my show. I got to lead this thing. All right, so what are we doing here? All right, so we're talking about car shipping business relationships. And I started when I started the show, I was talking about, what's working for you. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go into the question of the day. Well, again, that doesn't work. Question of the day. When it comes to building customer relationships and building businesses and keeping customers and building businesses, what is working best for you as a business? Whether are you doing social media? Do you rely on word of mouth? Does the work speak for itself? Is it the phone calls? Is it the emails? Please, somebody tell me, if you can, do you have a primary method of building relationships to build your business?
Keeping customers and building businesses. What is working best for you as a business? Whether are you doing social media? Do you rely on word of mouth? Does the work speak for itself? Is it the phone calls? Is it the emails? Please, somebody tell me, if you can, do you have a primary method of building relationships?
Yeah, we're looping again. It's not working.
I'm not sure why that is.
I think it's working now. Let's go for it.
I'm afraid to talk.
Yeah. I think we're good now.
William, I saw you live chatting. Please.
Can you hear me or no?
Yeah, no. Yeah, please. Yeah,
Right.
we hear you.
I mean, things that work for me in auto transport in regards to getting my name out there. I'm not really big on social media. I don't do stuff like that, self market. The name of the game, I think, is just communication. If you're good at what you do, you are organized, you're professional, and you check in with your customers, whether it's just a one-off move or if it's a transport maybe you have a dealership account with or a wholesale account with somebody. Um, Even after a car is picked up on the broker end of it, a lot of people feel like, okay, I did my job, I got the job dispatched, and the truck's on its way. It's in the driver's hands now. Not really. I still think you have to cater a little bit, and that's what really creates business for the future, and that creates future business with that customer, maybe word of mouth. Oh, there's this great guy or woman, and even after it was delivered, they checked in. Hey, how'd your delivery go? But other things too. For any accounts that I do have, whether it's a dealership account or a higher volume account, we send gift bags. This time of year, we send like a little. Our company does. You sign up for it. Hey, we got T-shirts. They cost. I know Jay, you do it. The T-shirts and merch and stuff. Just a T-shirt or a coffee mug. It's peanuts in comparison to hopefully the future business that you either retain or build. But that's number one thing is just communication, checking in after the job's completed. That's huge. They check that. Hey, how'd your delivery go? But other things too. For any accounts that I do have, whether it's a dealership account or a higher volume account,
Looping again.
bags. This time of year, we send like a little.
Check.
Good over here.
Yeah, so I just muted ties.
That might be the issue. Hopefully, the future business.
Okay, so that's cool. Now, okay, so we isolated it. All right. So, Ty, I'm going to unmute you when you start to talk. I'm not sure why, but let's keep going. So, you said several interesting things there. Is that, okay, so, and I was thinking this. When you get a lead, okay, because everything starts with leads, you probably call it right away, don't you?
Are we talking to me or Ty?
Yeah, I'm talking to you, William. Yeah, I'm sorry.
If I say that question again, then.
So yeah,
if I get a lead, what do I do?
If you get a lead, you're calling it right away, right? You're fast on the phone.
Yeah, I'm calling person. Yeah, I don't want to be overbearing. Obviously, you don't want to pound that number, and you just make that initial inquiry into that lead and talk to that person. Yeah, that's just that one time.
So once you got them on the phone, and then here's what I want to ask you: do you feel like it takes a lot of education, a lot of time? Does each customer take a lot of time? But I guess it depends on what kind of customer, dealership, individual.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's all spontaneous. You got to read the customer, and that's the name of the game. I think anybody that succeeds in doing this can read what their customer needs. Everybody has different needs. Everybody needs to be told, and they need to hear different things. So it's dependent on what their review is. Of course, you get those people that are on the phone real quick. They're just kicking tires, and they'll probably never transport. They're looking at a 2018 Corvette that they probably can't afford, and they're just dreaming, and they're just getting a price. That's how it is. But you usually can, understand who's really seriously trying to get educated, and those are the ones that you kind of really do want to talk to.
Melissa, you were thinking something there. What were you thinking? Uh-oh. Now I can't hear Melissa.
Sorry,
Oh, okay.
I had myself on mute.
Okay.
I was just thinking about what he said about each person needs to be told something different, but it's really the same thing. It's just people need different things. I totally get it. It makes sense. So as you're in any kind of sales, any sales business, you're always feeding off of the other person. So you're figuring out, are they sounding stressed? Are they nervous? How much knowledge do they have about the industry already? Have they done this before? So how many questions are you going to be answering? And what are their expectations? Are their expectations out of the ballpark, or are their expectations within reason? So I think that's right. Like every person, you're just filling out each person to see, what do I have to do to make them feel comfortable? Or what do I have to do to make them know that we know what we're doing? So, yeah, but that's any sales, any.
And as you say that, Ty and I were talking about this earlier. Ty, I think I've got everybody's mics turned back on and everything. Is that there's a lot of selling into getting the customer, whereas to get the dispatch, I suppose there's some sales. It really oftentimes boils down better to, negotiating rather than selling, but brokering is a lot of selling.
I think every person in the company is selling. Every single person.
Right. Right.
Ty's afraid to talk.
No, I'm good. I don't need to talk. I'm just saying you nailed it.
Yeah.
Everybody's a salesman.
Yeah. Everybody.
Or it should be.
Yeah, they should be. And you kind of know.
It's a Dale Carnegie course.
Exactly.
So then how do you get the information to help you navigate the sale? Because that's a question we get a lot.
But I think anybody can type up a form and you can have a format and you can answer all the questions. But if your personality doesn't come through and you can't read the personality of the other person, you're never going to be successful in sales. You need to do something else. And yeah, it's just not for you. And every part of this industry and a lot of industries, I mean, even your doctor is selling you. So, I mean, so everybody's in sales a lot more than you have to make people like you. You have to make people trust you. And in a good way, not in a I'm conning them way, but just, make them trust that you actually are going to take care of them and that you know what you're doing. And that comes to you're a dispatcher, so you have to sell your carrier.
Well,
right?
That is true. That is true.
Yeah.
And the carrier has to sell me sometimes too. I was thinking when you gave the doctor example, well, a doctor knows that he can read medical journals and there's a lot of education and there's places to go for the knowledge. Where do people go to gain the knowledge in the car shipping industry?
Your channel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Transport Intel.
Where did they go before this channel?
Whoever was training them in the business they were working in. If they're trying to start their own business, from the ground up without knowing anything like we did, you learn by your mistakes. Go ahead. Go ahead, William.
For the company that I work for, I started as a salesman, and they saw that I had the ability to coach a little bit, and I was a people person and all that stuff. So I started training. That's kind of what I do. I train people the software and how to learn the industry, how to, understand routes, understand the different type of trailers, all that stuff. And whenever I have people walk through the door and they're starting day one, I tell them everything. It's like, listen, I can teach you everything about the industry, about the computer, about the CRM that we use. We don't use JTracker anymore, but I can teach you everything. But in regards to you being on the phone, that's something you either have or you don't have. I can't teach you. That's an attribute that you either have or you don't have. Being a salesperson is it's a knack. Not everybody has it. But in regards to learning certain things, such as the actual industry, that's a teachable thing. But actually having maybe the gift of gab or just that swagger on the phone, I guess you might need. It's not everybody has it.
No. I think some people get away with being good salespeople in a sense that they haven't learned necessarily the skill, but they tend to be authentic naturally and they have integrity. And so people trust them organically. They don't have to necessarily sell them. So I think you have a few different types of people. You can train some just have it naturally and they're just maybe friendly. And they can communicate with people over the phone and they're interested in people and that helps.
Yeah.
That
Who are we
helps.
training?
Who are we training? We don't even know. That's what's so cool is right now, there's somebody right now watching this video and they're thinking, are these guys reading my mind?
This is where I went when I wanted to learn even more or just stay up to date. This is where I came. I came to YouTube. There's various other channels. Not quite as good as yours, Jay, but this is where you go. This is where you go to learn anything. You could learn how to bleed brakes, for instance, on YouTube. So
I'm about to start repoing cars. I'm going back into trucking. We're gonna buy trucks.
I'm gonna get my repo hammer.
Just kidding. Just kidding.
What was I gonna say is that one of the things you guys were making me think of is that in the early days I was in a dispatch office with other dispatchers, and I think two things really helped me is that just getting on the phone, pick up the phone, having conversations, being able to learn, being open to learn. That's a big part of it, right? Because if you're closed or you're just too self-conscious, you're not open to learn. And then the other thing is, after a transaction or a war story, to then be able to share and communicate to somebody else, it really helps to have that ability. And that's another one of the things that I try to recreate here is, some people work alone and they don't have the ability to bounce things off of somebody else. And I mean, they have somebody, whether it's family or the Uber driver or, the DMV worker, or the bartender, right? That you have somebody to bounce these things off, and it does help. And I agree with what you guys said. I mean, a lot of it's just going through the motions. But in the interim, in the beginning, when you're in the garden and it's just, you've just been put there out of clay, what do you do? What do you say? How do you begin the transaction? And I saw in the live chat, it was asked, do you do broker training? And it's actually a good question. Ty and I do a lot of training and a lot of various training. We get asked, can you recommend a dispatcher? And oftentimes that's not exactly what you need. I know it's what you're saying, but it's not necessarily a dispatcher. What you need is you need more tools in your toolbox. We had a great one today. But if somebody says, I'm training to be a broker, that one is a little harder. And that was actually, I had you guys in mind on tonight's show. If somebody said, hey, train me to be a broker, what would you say?
I agree with Ty. It's that, who are we training? Are you training somebody that knows the industry already, and then just needs some sales experience and needs to take some sales training courses, just like Dale Carnegie or Grant Cardone, or there's a million of them. I don't think those tools always work. I think there's a natural instinct to care about people. You care about people, you're going to be a good salesperson. If you care, it's going to work out.
But you got to know, you also have to know, there are certain things that you're going to have to know about the shipping industry, right? I mean, you're going to have to understand car hauling equipment. You're going to at least have to understand what a stinger is. If you call a guy and he says, hey, what kind of equipment you have? And he says, I got a Kenworth and a stinger.
You could go to TIA and you could do their certified broker training.
What is that one? Say it again.
Training.
TIA?
So Transportation Intermediaries Association, and they are for 3PL, so third-party logistics, which are brokers like us. So they have a certified broker training. You have to be a member of the association, and your membership is paid based on how much revenue you have. The only thing is, it's not cars. So they're not teaching you cars. They're teaching you more freight. But if you want to learn how to be a broker, then that's a good place to start.
Now, it's very interesting.
Look, new broker course.
Very interesting you said what you said about freight, because I know that, and this is actually why I started to learn more about the freight industry, and the reason I talk about the freight industry is that as a sister industry, as a bigger industry than the car shipping industry, there's a lot that can be learned by learning about freight. It's
Yeah, I think that's the mother industry,
It
and we're
is.
like the stepchild
I
industry.
believe we're called specialized. We're special.
Specialized,
We're
niche.
special.
niche, like heavy equipment or livestock.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
You're probably not going to put too many chickens on your car hauler, Jay.
but I have heard of stingers. I mean, I don't know. This could have been a joke, but a stinger loaded with hay, it was better than being empty.
That works.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Try it.
Like 1,000-pound round bales,
I
or
think so,
like
Whatever, however much they weigh. Yeah.
Okay.
I know, right? Just wash it off. But Ty, you were gonna say something. I could tell.
Yeah. Well, I think talking about, Jay and I, we coach a lot of people throughout the course of the week. So we got people that come to us and they don't have a truck or trailer. Then we have people that come to us that do have a truck and trailer. And then we have people that come to us that have more than one. And it's really fun talking to everybody because I've done this for 20 years now, had a fleet of 20 trucks, moved a lot of cars in a small radius. And so as we talk to people, it's hard to get past me, and Jay, I think you would agree with this, it's hard to get past me until we can answer this few questions, like, where are you going to get your cars? And that seems to really stump a lot of people. Well, where are we going to get our cars? I mean, you can know how to sell ice to an Eskimo, but does he need ice? I don't know. I don't think he does.
I love what you said, and you said it today. You said it very well. We had a coaching session, and when asked, where are you going to get your cars? We were talking to a car hauling company that's on its way of building a business. Where are you going to get your cars? And people say this to me all the time. You know what they always say? Central Dispatch. Now, I guess the reverse would be, what if I said to you, where are you going to get your customers? Would you always say the same place, or are there several places that you get your customers?
Right. And well, like today, it's fun because it's fun. And you look at this and you see, okay, well, Central Dispatch or a load board. Okay, that's okay, but today was awesome because I said, have you ever found a physical car on a load board? I mean, I haven't. Have you guys?
Found? Oh, yeah, no, I heard you say that. Have you found a physical car on a load board?
Yeah. See, and it starts to really get people to think, like, what did he just say? Right? What was that? Well,
right.
Drive down the street and take a look at the miles of cars. I mean, I might start looking where the cars actually are. That's kind of the way I think, and maybe that's wrong thinking, but that would force somebody then to have the skill set. Hi, my name's Ty. I own a transport company. I don't know exactly what you do, but where do you get your inventory? Where do you find your cars? How do you put cars on this lot? I just want to know. I'm curious. Real simple stuff, and it's like, are we so jacked up on social media and social marketing and media and all the stuff that we forgot here's a business card and a handshake?
Well, as a matter of fact, I watch TED. You guys check out like TED conferences, TED Talks, and where they talk about, right? And there are some interesting conversations being had now to try and get people to think about the human transaction again. Even though this may be a strange industry, I think what we do have is still a lot of human interaction. Maybe we've forgotten how to interact humanely, but there still is a lot of human interaction. So let's see. By the way, William William froze. William's connection froze. And so he has just, his frame has left the group. Now, what's interesting actually is that I got the message that since we're using Zoom.us meeting, by the way, I sent an email to Zoom today to try and talk to them about this. I mean, I can pay for it, which I guess is what I'm going to have to do, but I wanted to see if we could set something up. We can advertise them in the corner. But anyways, since we're still on the free Zoom meeting, our meeting's going to end in like 7.5 minutes. So,
I see that.
and then what I can do, so it's 10 to 10. It's 10 to 10 Eastern time. I don't know how you guys are on time, but to get William back in the meeting, I could, we could cut right now, invite him back in for a second half, and then, but well, I'll tell you what I want to do is I wanted to see if it'd be great to see if somebody had a problem that we could solve. Wouldn't that be great if somebody had a problem we could solve? Because that's what we do, don't we? That's what we solve problems, don't we? Ty, you've been a driver solving problems for years. I've been a dispatcher solving problems for years. Melissa, you've been a broker solving problems for years. Together, it would seem that we could solve a problem, right?
Find a problem, Jay.
If only we had a problem.
Find one.
Which
Create
is
one.
well, and that I was gonna open up. If we can't get a problem in here, I was gonna pull up Central Dispatch and find a problem. Let's see. And now Bad Apples is talking about, he says, I've been brokering and dispatching freight for a long time, and from what I'm learning, auto is a different animal. I will say this, auto and freight, for being sister industries, for parking at the same truck stops, seem to know almost nothing about each other. Isn't that strange?
They never will. They never will.
But
I'm still heavily solicited by freight software companies, and as soon as you say, well, we ship cars or we transport cars, they're like, oh yeah, and they're ready to hang up. Like, they're like, yeah, so they just, yeah, they don't know what to do with you. Like, what do I do with you?
That's where, Jay, you got to be careful, because the whole freight deal, the one similarity is it does take a driver and it does take a truck. But there are so many things I have no idea about freight. I wouldn't even want to try to mess with that, because I don't know what it's like to have to bump a dock and wait 6 hours outside before I can even get to the dock to bump it, then find out that the forklift's broke. I have no idea what that's like, but I can talk to you all day long about gate passes.
Well, and I get that. I really do. I realize that, but you know what it's like? Here we go. It's kind of like on Facebook. I've always said this. When you're in your personal account, you're having a party where everybody in the world that you know is invited. Now that's a strange party. Does anybody actually have such a party? You know, you got your grandparents, your drinking buddies, you know, the people you cuss with, the people you got your teachers there. It's strange. Everybody's together in the same room. It's a pretty odd party. So to do that with the shipping industry, it is pretty strange. Heavy equipment, livestock, but I think there are things to take away, and I can prove it because when I'm in a lot of Facebook groups. I'm in freight groups. I'm in car hauling groups. I'll read about livestock, heavy equipment, whatever, and I learn different aspects about shipping in general by some of the things I've read in these other groups. And so, yeah, I am going out on a limb regularly every Tuesday night. So.
Yeah. But we would never do a lot of the stuff that they do, like upfront fuel. Like, we would not give them money up front. And you can always tell the guys that come from that industry that start in cars and they're looking for upfront money. And I'm like, red flag, no way, red flag. So yeah, absolutely. So, and we would never pay money for being detained. Like we wouldn't do it. We wouldn't pay money for those things. So it's a completely different animal for sure.
And it doesn't it help that you know that you at least know where that's coming from, right?
Yeah. Well, because I dabbled a little bit, but yeah, but it would take me doing it full time. Like the other guy that comes on the show, Jake, is he Jake?
Yeah,
Jay?
Jake. Yeah, Jake's been on here. Yeah.
Like he moved to freight more because there's a ton of money in it, so it's tempting, but basically it's hard to do both. He had to probably shift gears and just do the other one.
Well, and I was watching a video. There was a guy just put out a video today. I think his name was Stephen Oatley. And I monitor Facebook and YouTube across the board. Shipping. I watch the truckers, the freight truckers in their cabs talking. And he was watching all the load boards. You got in freight, you've got DAT, D-A-T. I still don't know which one is preferred. DAT, Internet Truck Stop, and then, but if you're a hot shot and you're doing freight and or cars, then you're also checking out Central Dispatch, of course. And also on Central, you'll see those oddball listings. You'll see
sometimes.
Kids Playhouse and a minivan.
Did you guys know that William came back?
Yeah, what's up, William?
Where'd you go, dude? I was worried.
Sorry about that. Computer froze up on me.
Oh, let's see here. Let me change. Okay, and I was telling these guys, what's going to happen is,
hey, before you tell everybody and we lose our time, can I throw in one more good comment?
Yeah.
Because it is about relationships, right?
Yeah.
Right. So you've got relationships with carriers, customers, brokers, all that, right? All the relationships. And so one of the things that Jay and I are starting to see really take off, which is really cool because of, by the way, ATI. We're working with people over here in this part of the state, and we're working with 2 or 3, and it starts to develop, oh, wait, I'm going to put you in touch with this person and this person with this person, and all of our circles are starting to overlap. And so the relationship, an hour on the phone, it's really incredible. What 1 hour on the phone. So sometimes when we're done,
That's
Jay,
awesome,
I'm like,
man.
wow, I think that might be a long lost cousin or something. But we tell people, you call anytime you need something. If you want to, if you're scared, if you're worried, if you're freaking out, whatever it is, call. We'll talk you through it. I've probably actually experienced that at least twice, whatever it is you're dealing with. And so there's a mentoring that comes through a relationship that I think, just like you guys, everybody here, I mean, you're helping us, we're helping you. And as we build this thing, I think it's going to be pretty intense, like really super cool.
Yeah.
So we're all making it go better.
I totally agree. And I knew I was going to lose you guys. So here we go. Check this out. Stay where you are. Do me a favor. Don't move. I'm gonna start another meeting. I'm gonna re-invite these guys, and then we're gonna wrap it up. And I know it's getting late. And everyone, if anyone's got a schedule and they got to do something else, you can go do it. I give full ability for you to, you could do the dishes. You could do the dishes while you watch the show. You go ahead and do the dishes. That's okay. Let's see here. Let's do this. Let's do this. We'll put on the we got the show logo. You might be able to see that. You're probably seeing me. Let's go Ty. Let's go Melissa. I know it's a weird show, right, man? I've never watched a show. Honey, is he watching a show where he's emailing people while the show's going on? I've never seen Jimmy Fallon do that. Whatever it is. Oh, and now I got a picture-in-picture. Okay, so wait. Here we go. So they're gonna come back. We're gonna get we're gonna see who we can get back on the show to tune in again, and then we'll do like another I don't know, we'll do like another 20 minutes or so, 15-20 minutes, because I liked where we're starting to it's starting to gel. It kind of takes a moment for things to gel, and that's normal too. Nope, that's not that. Okay, Melissa's back with us. Hey, Melissa. We'll do like another. Okay, so I muted. I just hit the mute button, and it's interesting how I don't know why we get the feedback and the looping, but that's just one of the dangers of the. We're pushing the technology, and we're pushing our equipment because we're not. This isn't a TV studio. You know what I really like is that this is my I'm in between gigs doing the monologue. Is that when they went on like TV networks like CNN and Fox News, that they have booths and locations, or at least backup ideas of how to build a location on the fly. And they got the camera and the mic set up, and maybe it could be a room in their house, or they find a backdrop of the city, and it's amazing how they do that. So listen, you guys tuning back in right now, I appreciate what you've created you found a backdrop that made sense. You're helping me create the TV network style illusion, and I appreciate that. I really do, because I'm way into that. Like it was Bill that said he compared my background to like the Dan Patrick Show. I think that's a sports show. And I've always had like a thing for props, just putting props around the set. It's one way to do it. And then I added some lighting and props, and then I got the monitors and stuff. And is it too much? Is it do I need one more rubber ducky, or do I have too many rubber duckies, or these are questions I ask myself. So, but at this point I've already chosen a theme and a style, and so I'm running with it. So I guess we're waiting for Ty to come back in, but while we do, because he and I were talking about, we're talking a little bit about CTS. But I want to say is that I'm always excited, since I'm doing dispatching. I could have 3 other dispatchers on here. We can all talk about how much we hate dispatching. Maybe we talk about how much we hate brokers, right? But that's not what we're doing. I got 2 brokers, a car hauler, and a dispatcher, and a partridge in a pear tree. That's cool. And I know there's going to be somebody watching this video that appreciates that and is thinking, okay, if I was there right now, what can I do to interact and get some helpful information for my business? So let me say this right now, is that if that person watches this video when it's on demand and not live and puts in the YouTube comments, if they ask a comment of one of you guys, I am going to email you and ask you to please reply to that person. That's one of the things that I ask, and I forget to say it while we're live, but I'm going to ask you guys, if there's a question after the fact, I want you to please answer it, okay?
Yeah, no problem.
All right, that's awesome. And it's true that, like you were saying, Ty, is that this network is building out. Melissa, you've been on the show a few times. Ty, you've been here also. William, I'm hoping that you'll come back again for a panel, because as problems present themselves, and by the way, I remember
William talks too much.
Yeah, William is just.
I don't think we should invite him back.
He's a talk machine. He won't let me talk.
He leaves the show and then he comes back and just starts talking.
Can you guys see the screen? Because I just pulled up Tesla.
Tesla.
Yes.
What is going on with Tesla?
I guess they have a bad reputation. So I guess they've bought a bunch of trucks and they don't want to pay the fees to outside carriers, and they're not having good luck with it. So I don't know if they have, I don't know what's going on, but it seems like they've had so many accidents. So many. There's been so many trucks on fire with Teslas.
Probably a pot. But here's the thing. Did you guys know that I've had 3 different carriers in the Midwest call me last week asking me what I thought about going to California and picking up Teslas coming back to the Midwest for $14,000.
Yeah, but they're deadheading.
I'm like, hey, you know what? Where do they go? I want to know, where are you taking them? Well, I don't know. It just pays $14,000 and it goes to the Midwest. Okay, so $14,000 to the Midwest and you don't know where it goes. Now, how many stops? I don't know. Well, I don't know about anybody else, but I don't see any Tesla dealerships on the highway. Do you?
Yeah. No.
Where are you taking these? Does the whole 9 Tesla load go to 9 different homes?
Yeah.
Because it's kind of like Amazon, isn't it? Like, here's your car. Yeah, go get them all for 14,000. It'll be a great trip.
Yeah, but a lot of those guys deadheaded there, so they went empty, and it's just crushing them. It's crushing them.
Well, did you hear this? Is that so? I'm reading on Facebook. First, I heard about a month or two ago. I think it was 2 months ago that Tesla had acquired LNR, Auto Shipping Company, right? And that something about LNR out of Texas. And the Tesla location is Fremont, southeast of the Bay Area. Okay, so Tesla acquires an LNR yard and trucks and assets southeast of the Bay Area, which is where it sounds like that's where they need to move their inventory out of. Okay, so the question was, did they acquire LNR? Nobody heard anything official, but there was enough online marketing coming through LNR, looking for drivers, or I can't speak of the specifics, but it seemed like, okay, that rumor is true. But yet there's no press about it or nothing, and people left to wonder inside the industry, is this happening? What's going on? And then, recently, we've heard that RPM is offering this incredible deal to deadhead, get these cars, just like Ty was talking about. But then, did you hear this? I just read this on Auto Transport Everything, which, if you don't follow Auto Transport Everything, you might want to. It's probably one of the larger car hauling Facebook groups, right? Okay,
Yeah, that's a good one.
And we're talking about Ziggy Keller, and Ziggy, he was on the show last week, and I hope to keep having him on the show. Well, he shared this, and I like original information. I try not to pay attention to the individual names named, because you never know exactly what's going on. But this is from, I think this is off of Ziggy's phone. On behalf of RPM, we want to address some of the concerns voiced in this group. The recent actions of the former employee in question are not a reflection of who we are as a company, what we stand for, or how we conduct business. We truly value the partnerships that we create with each of our carriers and aim to take care of you like family. We set out to treat our carriers like customers and keep your best interests at heart. So what damage control is this? That's the question, right?
And they obviously let an employee get pretty out of hand and didn't recognize that there was a problem, because since the show is about relationship, I mean, you know, we talk about building relationships with customers and teaching someone how to be a salesperson, but what about your relationships with your carriers or your vendors? Or, you know, so put the customers aside. You're going to do that instinctively. You're going to do that naturally. But how are you treating, you know, your carriers, your partners, the people that you need, you know, to make sure they take care of you and take care of your customers? So that's a huge part of what we have to do every day. Huge part. Anytime I do business with somebody else, I always look at how they treat their vendors. You know, it speaks to the integrity of that business. So, and that, whatever happened with RPM obviously was happening for a while. Obviously, they were making a ton of money, or they didn't notice. One of the two things were happening.
Well,
so I don't know. You know,
to thicken the plot, I had also read something about how I guess there were trucks that deadheaded there under the assumption that everything was good, and then they got there and they were waiting. The trucks weren't getting loaded. You heard this, William? So
yeah, I heard the rumor late last week, and if you actually look on Central, it's been difficult moving out of Northern California. Obviously, you got to be priced right on Central, but I did hear that rumor where these trucks are waiting in line and they have no clue where they might be dispatched out to, going out east, but they're getting full loads for a hefty amount of money. But then, you know, that's like the same day that I heard the rumor, just north of Bakersfield on I-5, it was shut down going north because of a a wicked snowstorm that nobody saw coming.
Oh yeah.
So I'm like trying to like correlate. All right, what's really going on with this slow movement towards the latter half of the week coming out of Northern Cal? But yeah, I've been hearing this rumor about Tesla and these trucks just like lining up, taking full loads, not knowing where they're going.
And so while the weather on the Grapevine north of Los Angeles, which is where Bakersfield is, that's actually true. That did happen.
Yeah.
But it's ironic, and ultimately, everything keeps coming back to Tesla. Like, what's going on over at Tesla? We know you have great cars, right? Everybody, like, when you hear Tesla, you want to see it. And I did, actually, I made it to an electric vehicle event. Got to see some Teslas. They're cool. Lots of new ideas. Cool car. And we hear Elon Musk in the news. Man, he is got so much news swirling around him. I'm assuming he loves it. So what's going on with Tesla, though? We've also heard that something about him and his board, his position on the board. I'm not trying to spread rumors, but when you hear Tesla, and then you hear about LNR and RPM, what's next? What is going to go wrong next? It seems like there's just
Road and Fleet Car.
And
That's what's going wrong.
oh,
next.
United Road and Fleet Car, right? Exactly.
Why don't we just throw that on the pile?
Right. Let's just throw we got the Yuletide burning.
So until somebody tells us what's going on, this is my theory. My theory is they tried to save money. They bought their own trucking company. They figured out how hard it was. They hired a broker, and that didn't work out either. So they're going through their growing pains. They are paying the dues that all of us paid at some point in this industry. And so they're paying them right now. What they did is, instead of easing into it, it looks like they just went for it, which is a Tesla kind of, move. So they just went for it, and they're paying for it, So we'll see what happens.
Just like you said, I read about the accelerator tunnel. Did you hear about the project of the accelerator tunnel? I can't remember what they call it.
The boring project.
Right, because it's super boring. But yeah, there are changes. It's almost as if there's. You know what it makes me think of? Howard Hughes. Not enough research within not enough time. Too many grandiose ideas. And I don't know if Elon Musk is going to end up locking himself in his theater watching his World War II movies that, I'm just kidding. That's a Howard Hughes joke. It's hilarious. But, and I'll be here all night. But, it is crazy, the news. And we just get the rumors. If it wasn't for Facebook, maybe nobody would know. And maybe that was the hope. Although United Road did share a letter that they wrote thanking Fleet Car and all that, and it was shared on Facebook. I shared it on Auto Transport Intel. So that's official news. But what is that? What does United Road Fleet Car mean to this industry? Does it mean anything?
It means something.
What does it mean?
I don't know, because Fleet Car doesn't even own a truck. So why did United Road want to buy Fleet Car? Good question. I don't have the answer.
That's a really great... Because of their customers?
That's what you would think.
Right? They bought their customers. Who are their customers? Well, now Fleet Car... When I think of Fleet Car, I think of the Northeast region. I think of cluster loads. Aren't we talking about large contracts moving? I don't know if it's plants or railhead or, right? I mean, aren't we talking full loads? Like a lot of full loads? So their customers must have been plants and rail yards. And I don't know if we're talking OEM, which, by the way, when we talk about full loads and new vehicles and OEM, why don't I hear people talking about AIG inspections and splat charts? Does anybody know? Have I left the planet? Bye. I thought when you moved a new car, this is the intel that I've got from the past. When you move a new car, you can't just do your normal used car BOL. You've got to do new car splat charts. Am I wrong?
I'm not familiar with it, but you guys probably know more.
Right, because
I think it's over our pay grade.
Now, that's interesting. A dispatcher finally reaches over the pay grade. Call the presses, round up the news. Okay, so, and that's why my understanding of when we, in booking on Central Dispatch and the customers we book cars with, auto auctions, dealerships, individuals, POV, right, corporate relocation, that these are not brand new vehicles that require the level of inspection. You guys know that. If you pick up a new vehicle at a plant or a railhead, and if there's any damage, the driver's not allowed to pick it up. Or a port. The driver's not allowed to pick up that vehicle in many cases. Because it is a new vehicle and therefore can't be sold with damage. So that it's as if the carrier is at a new level of responsibility. Carrier thinks it's just going to pick up a car. Man, I'm going to pick up a car. I'm not like on a contingency that I may not be able to get this car. What do you mean I can't get this car? It's like a surprise in-op. What do you mean it's in-op? I'm picking up a car. Right?
Hmm.
I don't know. So this is actually, this is what I get out of reading as many articles and watching as many videos as I can, is that I am seeing information that goes beyond just the standard transaction. But it's helpful because there are moments where you find yourself in a conversation and there's new information which is pushing the boundaries of a standard transaction. So my gosh, tell that to Tesla.
Maybe we should have Elon on the show.
Well, and honestly, I love that you said that. I really believe this, although I'm inclined to not believe it. There are some days I wake up and I go, this whole auto transport intel thing is really just, maybe not. Maybe not, Jay. Maybe not. But then I have these conversations. I'm like, oh my gosh, really? There is so much.
I remember looking at the screen for Central Dispatch for 8 hours straight.
Right, and then I remind myself, oh, this has got to work because I can't look at Central Dispatch for another minute today. I can't do it. But there's so much interesting information to know, and I guess if you're outside car shipping, who cares what's going on with Tesla? I'm gonna park it. I'm gonna plug it in. I'm gonna get, and people are gonna wave at me, and
they're gonna care when they don't have their car.
Well, that's exactly right. Where's my car? I got my burrito. I got my Roku, and I got the I got the Chinky Chain Monkey that I ordered last night. But where's my car? The Chinky Chain Monkey. Now selling.
Now selling.
So,
peace out.
So what's up with Tesla? Again, what's interesting too is, come to find out, the curb weight of their cars is like what, a ton more than a regular car? Well, yeah, there's nothing like reinventing car shipping with a car that weighs more than a car. Good job, everybody.
I just think we should all have a relationship with Tesla, LNR, United Road, and Fleet Car, and we'll get the answers we're looking for.
I know, we need one of them on here.
We do. And I actually...
It's a challenge.
Well, I actually have an email. That's what's interesting about what's happening on social media, is that just like I showed you the screenshots from Auto Transport Everything, I have a screenshot of an email that was sent by Tesla, and I have the email address. It's on there. The email address of the person that sent the email is on there. I could email somebody at Tesla, but do I do it? I don't know.
Yeah, you do. There's a lot of people who want some answers, Jay.
Well,
the Auto Transport Intel.
Thank you, man.
Maybe they want to defend themselves. Maybe they want to explain.
Well, maybe they don't.
Maybe.
I don't know. But if you're out there, Tesla, since you are out there, is that this is the Tesla, welcome to the auto transport industry. This is what it looks like.
They weren't prepared.
They weren't. No. They were not prepared. And you know, you can always find somebody to tell you what you want to hear. Boy, do we know that, right? You can always find a yes man. You can find 2 yes men. Shoot, you can find a whole cabinet of yes men. Ah, now I've done it. But sometimes you need somebody to tell you no. At least to make you think. Really, there's a no out there? There might be a no? No way could there be a no. Yeah? There might be a no. No. It's definitely a yes. All right, you guys. Well, listen.
I'm gone, brother.
Yeah. Anybody have anything to add? But I love the Tesla thing, and I appreciate you guys' input on that because it is interesting, and we're gonna stay tuned. Just like a year and a half ago, it was United Road and CarMax. Now it's Tesla, and I don't know where this is headed. But obviously, people want to get their Teslas, and Elon Musk seems to have new ideas all the time. So. But I love
that Christmas rush. Everybody's trying to get their car before the end of the year here.
Right, and Melissa, yeah, you were just talking about that.
Yeah. End of year.
Fourth quarter sales.
So where are we now? So it's December 11th. Are we in total mayhem yet, or are we about to?
Yes.
We're in total.
Based on last week, what I heard, yes.
Yeah.
And what does mayhem mean to you guys?
Trucks idling in line, just waiting to pick up a load.
Yeah.
Where? What kind of...
in Northern Cal. I'm just talking in reference to the Tesla transports and the rumors that I'm hearing with the trucks just sitting there waiting for full loads. Tesla's scrambling.
And then in the southeast, you got the weather problems.
Yeah, we're in snowbird season on I-95, obviously.
Okay. And what other seasonal trends are happening right now? I mean, what do the next couple weeks look like? Just try to get... yeah.
For some reason lately, maybe I just don't know at the market in an annual way, but east to west from like the tri-state area, Delmarva, going out to California is somewhat cheap actually, on Central at least, market wise. I remember maybe it was just a spike back in the spring, March, April of this year, where everybody was freaking out about hours of service and ELDs, and prices were through the roof. Or maybe it is a seasonal thing that I never caught that trend on, but going from pretty much like the tri-state area out to California is cheap, and it might be because of the supply and demand. There's so much demand leaving California, maybe with maybe the Tesla thing. I don't know. Maybe that's part of a correlation to it. But these guys are maybe bleeding or just want to get back to where all that demand is in California. It's possible, but it is kind of cheap in compared to what it was. And I think it might have been everybody freaking out about ELDs back in March and April, where everything started getting a little bit more expensive.
Well, it's interesting. And the more I realize that central dispatch rates actually shouldn't. I don't think central dispatch rates represent what's really happening in car shipping. Does that make sense? I mean, central dispatch is a place to get cars, but you can't judge the market based on what you see on central.
Yeah, I mean, I'm getting carriers. We use if we use a certain few carriers on certain routes that we have good relationships with, positive reviews and everything, that we'll always try to contract out to. And I've noticed, certain times of the year they want more, and certain other times of the year they will get it done for less. And it's not just any random carrier that we happen to get a hit on Central for posting a job. But yeah, I think you're right on that. But I have seen a little bit of a change in pricing. I think it's an annual thing, just like it is with north-south with the snowbird season.
The winters are tough because everybody's in the southern states, and then the prices go down because the competition goes up. Yeah. Listen, as we wrap it up here, guys, we'll start with William. William, can if people have questions for you, can they contact you?
Of course, you can probably. I don't have the YouTube up in the background, but you should have my email. You can copy and paste it in the live chat.
William.
Dot
yeah.
NSCL at shipyourcarnow.com. Be happy to answer any questions anybody has. I'm not as maybe seasoned as some of you guys like Jay, but I definitely can help on the broker end of it and point you guys in the right direction.
But William, I mean, listen, I appreciate that you you've been in the live chat on my show when I was just bashing everybody with a big club, not paying any attention to what I was doing, and you stuck around, and I appreciate that. And that's literally what you got my attention with that, and I'm so glad you came on the show because I think that you have a lot to contribute.
I appreciate it. It's a pleasure to hear it. But I think everybody that listens in, that tunes in, that's active, they all take pride in this industry, no matter what facet they do, whether a dispatcher, actual driver for you guys that are driving right now, listening, or a broker. I know it's not the most glamorous job, and it's not really as rewarding as it should be, but I think the reason that we tune in, you do a great job, Jay. I appreciate it, and we all take pride. That's what it is. We all like what we do.
I agree. Thank you. And so I'm going to hand it over to Melissa. Melissa, can people contact you if they want to ask you a question? What?
Melissa.
Yeah.
Melissa at highendtransport.com.
And are you guys? Well, since I got both of you here, are you guys still building your carrier network? I mean, can carriers contact you and say, "Hey, I want to be on your list"?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Okay, and that's probably one of the best reasons to contact you, right? Is, hey, I want to get on your list. I want to be a carrier. This is my running lane. What do you want carriers to say when let's say they contact you? Here's my company name. Here's my MC number. This is my running lane, right? Here's my email, my phone number. Is there anything else that's this is my equipment, right? Year, make, and model of my power unit. This is my capacity.
How much insurance coverage they have, how much cargo they have, how much is their deductible.
Why is the deductible asked? What's up with that? I don't know.
Because sometimes it doesn't get paid.
Okay.
So it becomes a factor.
You want the deductible low, right? Yeah.
We want these carriers to have low deductibles because
worst case scenario, the deductible gets paid. Okay. Yeah, and that's on the cargo insurance. Am I right?
Yeah.
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 Okay.
That's all we really care about because the law sets the $1 million liability for them already. So we're just looking for the cargo.
Do you worry about any, like I've heard Lloyd's of London is not a preferred insurance. Is that correct?
Garbage.
Right? Lloyd's of London is not good, huh? Because they don't pay claims, or they just don't have.
They just take a long time.
Yep.
A really long time.
So Lloyd's of London is not preferred, and I've heard that. So I mean, you guys have verified it. Nobody. I mean, it's a rumor.
I had a bad experience with it.
Yeah.
It takes forever.
It's not like personal insurance where there's like a time frame and they have to pay within a certain time frame. It's commercial, so it's a lot looser on when they pay and how much they're on top of it. We don't have the same protections.
Is there an insurance carrier you like to see, like Progressive or? I don't know.
They've been. I mean, 5 years ago they didn't exist in this industry, and now they're just everywhere.
Yeah, they are. They're everywhere. Yeah.
They try to avoid paying claims, but I think a lot of insurances do. I think, people should know that just because they say no doesn't mean that it's right. That they will try, but if you fight a good fight and prove that they need to pay it, it can be paid. So it just depends. Every scenario is different.
We got a great question here. What's an acceptable deductible? What do you like to see? Is it a percentage? Yeah, go ahead.
2,500 is usually pretty standard. We will not use a carrier with a $5,000 deductible.
Okay.
It used to be 1,000, which was so much easier to deal with. So let's say you have the damage issue, you have money for the transport, you just take the money for the transport, you pay the deductible, you work out the difference, however, and it's much easier. I don't know what the cost difference is for these guys I haven't priced insurance since 2011. So for a truck, so I don't know. But it's something definitely that we consider whenever we're signing up a carrier. So we carry contingency cargo, and our deductible is $5,000, but that's different. So we're not actually damaging the car. So that's like the extra if something happens where our insurance has to step in, then we take care of it. But for them, 2,500. That's pretty standard for what we see.
That is.
We'd like it to be 1,000.
Yeah, no, and that's interesting. So that's changed over time. Like 1,000's not a, and I don't.
And we make those considerations when we're dispatching. We definitely look at that stuff.
It sounds to me like you can't dispatch a car to a carrier until you know that you have a copy of their certificate. Is that correct?
Well, yeah, I don't know if we talked about this before, but yeah, we're kind of crazy insurance people over here. So we don't use third-party services, and we do it. We have to get it directly from the insurance company, and we make sure that it's updated at least every 90 days because they can get canceled.
Yeah.
And just because you're a certificate holder doesn't mean that they have to notify you. It says that they can notify you. You're on the list to be notified, but the insurance company takes no liability if they don't notify you.
Great. Yeah. No, and I mean, it's hard on the dispatch carrier side. It's tough to keep up with a 90-day requirement. It seems like you're constantly requesting certificates.
Yeah, we don't. Well, since we request it from the insurance companies, just depends. So sometimes our relationships, we actually have relationships with the insurance companies.
Right.
So we wind up being able to get those most of the time pretty easily.
Are you saying that you wouldn't accept it from me? You need it straight from the insurance company?
No. Yeah. We've seen the whiteout copies. We've seen copies. We've seen it all. So no.
Wow.
We do not.
I'm gonna need some ELD Kool-Aid.
We do not. And anybody accepting it directly from the carrier is nuts. So
that's interesting. Wow.
Yeah, that's fool's gold.
I have rarely seen that. But I mean, I get it. Well, here's the thing. Let me say this: is that I'll request a certificate. I'll tell the insurance company to send it to you. So that's not to me, to you.
Right. It's coming. Right. It's coming from them. But it has to come from them.
But I have worked with brokers who said we'll call the insurance company. Like I couldn't even do that part.
No, you can do that part because that's pretty. Because sometimes they require you to call them. So some insurance companies have that requirement and they ask you to call them.
Yeah.
And then some we can contact ourselves. It just depends. So, but we usually know. And if you haven't done a deal for us in 90 days, we'll update it.
Yeah. Well, I have found in general that companies that and why Sean, he's at 1,000 deductible, so he's good. I have found that companies that are more on the ball on certificates of insurance usually pay a little bit better for the transport. That tends to be, and that's it's fine.
It's high-end transport.
High-end
transport. Not budget transport.
It's great. Yeah, man, there you go. That's right. So, all right, you guys. Well, listen, it's late. We're at 2.5 hours, so we made it. We made our goal. And I thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. And I'll let you know if I get YouTube comments that I need help with. And then I'll reach out to you guys again. I'm going to have you back on the show next year, okay?
Perfect. Thanks, Jay.
Thank
Merry
you, guys.
Christmas, Happy New Year.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, guys. Thank you so much.
Say Happy Holidays.
Happy Holidays.
Gotta be politically correct this day.
not this is auto transport.
No, we're going to say Happy Hanukkah too, and I don't know what the rest of them are.
You know what? I thought about this is that if let's say I was walking around and like everybody was Happy Hanukkah and everything was menorah, you know what? Yeah, we could do that. That sounds cool. Let's do Kwanzaa. Yeah, man.
Is it Happy Kwanzaa? Happy Kwanzaa.
It's Happy Hanukkah, and I don't know. I think it's just Kwanzaa. Yeah.
Kwanzaa.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
There's no. Listen, don't say Happy Kwanzaa.
I don't know.
I don't either. All right. Well, Kwanzaa, guys.
All right, guys.
Kwanzaa.
All right. See ya. Bye. All right. Okay, so if anybody knows the official Kwanzaa greeting or salutation, that'd be great. We could use that. And so that's part of what I'm getting at. I'm glad that we ended on that note because I really do. I see the entire shipping industry as a big, I don't want to say a big hole, but one large ecosystem. And yeah, auto transport is just a segment of that giant shipping ecosystem. I think that's important because as we let me get rid of these, as we and then clickety clack, as we move forward into the shipping future, larger companies that are building, banding together, merging, acquiring, beginning, are not seeing just the segments of the industry, but they're just seeing shipping. Like Amazon doesn't worry what kind of product it is, it's all going in the warehouse. And I feel like I think shipping is heading in that direction. Especially when we look at, Tesla's way more than regular cars, and then we're going to add flying cars and spaceships and flying boats and flying people and food that disintegrates. I mean, I don't know. But I do believe that new shipping magnates don't distinguish between types of cargo. And I think if you really want to further your education in shipping, you'll break out of your niche. If you're only in freight, pay attention to a little bit of car hauling. If you're only in car hauling, pay attention to a little bit of freight. Learn a little bit about the livestock. If you're in equipment, in heavy equipment, you might want to learn about, agriculture. I don't know. You don't have to. Luckily, you don't have to. But I think it does teach you something. I know I was at a trade show and I talked to a lady that was only interested in heavy machinery. She didn't care about regular freight or agriculture or cars. And it was almost like we spoke totally different languages, even though we were at the Mid-America Trucking Show. So I think it's helpful. You don't have to do it, but that's what I strive for as I move forward onto the auto transport intel journey. And you guys, hey, what's up, Alex? Andy. Andy's with us in the show, and Alex has been busy commenting. That's awesome. Thank you, guys. Stan at Carshipio is with us. UPS is testing pilotless cargo planes already. That's what I'm talking about. Thank you, Stan. Stan, I love your you share some really interesting stuff on Facebook, looking towards the future, because that's where we got to look. That's where we're going to find, it is Happy Kwanzaa. That's where we're going to find some of the information that's going to help us. And Mark Hoy was here, with Run Buggy. So listen, guys, man, I really appreciate you tuning in. We still have a pretty busy live chat. If anybody in these last minutes as we exit, if you've got a question that you want to ask me, I'll try and answer it. If I can't answer it, I will actually probably move it over into the category of CTS and transport business coaching. You guys know that I made another big video recently about the marketing opportunities here at Auto Transport Intel, and that's not just being a service provider or having a product. If you're a car hauling company and you want to promote your company, if you're a dispatcher, you want to promote your dispatching. If you're a broker and you're looking for more customers, you want to promote your brokerage. If you're a car shipping customer and you just have had it with not knowing what's going on. So whether you're a car shipping customer, auto transport broker, car hauling dispatcher, vehicle shipping company, or car carrier service provider, Auto Transport Intel is the #1 recommended YouTube video channel for you. If you're looking for auto transport business coaching because you're thinking of getting into the business of car hauling, we can talk about routes and rates and equipment and strategy of getting customers. If you need dispatcher training or you need a really good referral for a brokerage or a good dispatcher, you can email me, autotransportintel@gmail.com. I am asking for your likes, your shares, your subscriptions. Have your friends like, share, comment, and subscribe. It helps me. It helps my rankings in YouTube and Google, which helps my channel grow, which helps get the word out. In January, I'm going to be in Massachusetts hanging out with Serge the Car Hauler. That's going to be exciting. We're actually going to talk a little bit about Russian car hauling segment of the auto transport industry. It's a big segment. And so we're going to talk about that. And then in March, we're going to be at the Mid-America Trucking Show. And actually, Mark with Trucking Answers is going to be there. Dave Williams of Clarksville Trucking is going to go. I'm going to be there with Mike of East West Express Hauling and more. There's going to be more people there. So reach out to me. Send me an email, autotransportintel@gmail.com. I think Stan is going to be there. And maybe you're going to be there. Maybe you'll be there to join us in Louisville, Kentucky. And it's such a gigantic convention. I mean, I don't even know what to fully expect, but I'm already getting the word out, contacting people. Oh, by the way, you know what? We didn't do this. Let me show this. Let's do this, and let's do this. This is Paul's trailer that I was showing you. Well, there's Paul. Paul made it to Kansas City on his journey, and there is Paul with his Auto Transport Intel t-shirt. And this was me sitting across the table from Paul. We went to Plowboys, which isn't even a premier Kansas City joint, but it was convenient off of I-70, and that was actually really good. I had the brisket sandwich. He had I think sausage and brisket combo, and I got to give him he ordered the mix, which is the t-shirt and mug. So listen, if you want to help the channel, you know that you can always, number one, you can go to CTS, sign up for a strategy 1 for $100. Me and Ty will talk to you about car hauling strategy, and I'll tell you what we like to say. If you can spend an hour on the phone with us and not get half of a good idea, man, we're not even going to charge you. Even with I've got over 60 shows online. I got hundreds of hours of free video, and I got the blog posts and everything else. But if you don't want to pay, listen, man, we love this industry and we want to keep it going. So that's fine. It's on us. That's good. You won't get a number 2 on us for free, but you know what? Seriously. But if you do pay the $100, it goes right back into the channel. Everything I get on this channel goes right back into it. Because this is, man, I live this. I live and breathe Auto Transport Intel every day. If you also want to help the channel, you can do the mix, which, well, who doesn't love a good mix? And that's where you get the Auto Transport Intel t-shirt. Here's the front. It's Road Worker yellow. It's so bright, it makes the screen go dark, right? Alert today, alive tomorrow is on the back. Boy, do we need that. Because when you're out there on the side of the road, you want those cars to see you as they come racing by and try and go around your cones. And if you really want to help me, I know it's overpriced, but if you want to help me, you can also get the VIP. You get the Auto Transport Intel mug. Put your coffee in that baby, and then you can wear your shirt and you can drink out of your mug, and you're helping the channel. And if you're in Kansas City, let's do barbecue. Let's get together, because as you can see from the smile on Paul's face, that we had a good time. He was happy to get his merchandise, and I mean it. I mean, Kansas City, who doesn't drive through Kansas City? Whether you're going north to Minnesota, south down to Texas, west to Salt Lake, or east over towards Nashville and on to Jersey, you're probably driving through Kansas City. So let me know if you're going to be pulling through. My email is autotransportintel@gmail.com. And now you know for sure that I'm about to start the car hauler. I've reminded you about CTS, Auto Transport Intel, Kansas City Barbecue, the merchandising, the coaching. I do all of it. So I'm going to start that car hauler. Man, I am so thankful that you guys tune in every Tuesday night. I really appreciate it. Thanks for your support. And I hope this show is entertaining and informative. That's the goal. This is Auto Transport Intel. I am helping explain car shipping. So here comes the car hauler. Let me make sure the audio's up. I don't want to have to deal with that. All right, here it comes. I'm clicking it now. I will see you guys next Tuesday night. Same time, same channel. Peace.